It's the Be Smooth TikTok. I flamed that boy.
Now, he ain't bring Be Smooth back up here after yesterday.
Yo, fellas, I got a super chat right from the top from Indoor Voices. I need to hear from everybody. Indoor Voices said, start a franchise with 7 prime years. You get 7 years of either T-Mac or Jimmy Butler. Who are you starting your franchise with and why? Mars, I want to hear from you right from the top.
Tracy McGrady, because he's better at basketball than Jimmy Butler. So I'd rather have him for 7 years. Obviously, assuming he's healthy for the 7 years.
Got you. Big Ox, talk to us.
Max Sauce. Come on, man. I'll take 5 years of Max Sauce over 8 years of Jimmy.
Damn. I probably would too.
What?
Okay. Damo, how you feel about this?
Well, I'm answering the question, with the mindset of winning basketball games and actually trying to win. So I'm gonna get the winning player, which is Jimmy Butler. T-Mac, Maxos, as Ox said, definitely the more talented offensive player, but Jimmy Butler is the more proven winner and does more for a team to win important games. So, in my opinion, Jimmy Butler.
I mean, again, Mars is one of those dudes who he digs guys who are better at basketball, which I never could get with that logic. And the reason why I can't get with that logic, because I've seen better basketball players get outplayed. That's why. And when I think about Jimmy Butler, the proof is in the pudding. And as good as a talent as Tracy McGrady is, as good as a talent as he is, it didn't translate. And with Jimmy Butler, it does. So if I'm taking 7 prime years of a guy and I want to win, I'm taking Jimmy Butler.
How are you a better player if you get outplayed?
How you have a skill set, you're more talented. Your eye, because you and your eye test, right? The eye test looks better. When you watch Tracy McGrady play, he's got the eye test would tell you he's a better player. Mm-hmm. But I don't live in a world of unicorns and leprechauns where all of a sudden T-Mac's going to have heart and T-Mac's going to stay healthy and T-Mac's going to win games, because he doesn't. So for that reason, I'm going Jimmy Butler.
T-Mac had heart.
Well, for T-Mac's like 7-year prime, he was reasonably healthy. And also, what teams did T-Mac play on where you expected him to win and he didn't?
How about that 2007-2008 Rocket team that won 22 straight games? How about that? And they got
once T-Mac was past his prime, so not part of the 7-year prime.
Okay, let's stop with the past his prime. He was in year 11.
That was the question. No, that's not my fault. He got hurt. He broke down.
He was in his prime. He was in year 11.
He wasn't in his prime anymore.
Why wasn't he in his prime? He was 29 years old.
Because he was worse than he was in his prime. Everyone's prime ends at different ages. D-Rose's prime was done by 2014.
Well, we never saw D-Rose's prime.
So that was his prime up to that point. His prime was like 01 to like 07. Like that was his prime, and then he started breaking down.
So even though he wasn't all pro that year, by the way, it wasn't like he was 16 a game or 12 a game. No, he was still an all pro.
Okay.
So because he wasn't 29 a game, because he wasn't 32 a game.
I don't think he was 29 a game in Houston at all, but I think his prime ended in 07. I think that's when his prime ended. That's what I'm saying. But if you want to argue that 08 is the last year of his prime and that was the 1 year they should have won, that's fine. That means one time.
I think he should have won in Orlando too. Should have won in Orlando when he was up.
The fact that they were up 3-1 on Detroit was an accomplishment in itself.
So credit Doc Rivers, but you never credit Doc Rivers for that.
We've never spoke about it until now.
No, I've always talked about Doc Rivers. I've always talked about Doc Rivers. You always talked about how Doc Rivers got walked down. But I told you guys,
I've never brought up Doc Rivers blowing multiple 3-1 leads. That's been low in other people. I've never brought that up. I don't blame him for blowing the 3-1 lead to Orlando.
Okay, well, let me say this. He should have won that series. That series they should have won. You're up 3-1. You should have closed that deal. That's first and foremost. Cool. Secondly, he should have closed many other deals too. They had deals in Houston those early years that he could have closed a couple of years in Houston. He could have closed, and a couple of those other years in Orlando. He should have been in the playoffs and closed. Man, this dude was a perennial 25 to 30 point score per game score in the league. And then he had solid teams too. That wasn't like he had garbage teams. Meanwhile, Jimmy Butler with less talented teams has done way more. Have been in NBA Finals, bro. So at the end of the day, I'm rolling with Jimmy Buckets. I'm rolling with Jimmy Buckets. Hold on, chill, Fluent. I disagree with what you said. He ain't better than no Jimmy. He ain't better than T-Mac. Ain't better than Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is better all around than T-Mac.
No, I said
T-Mac, just because you just
offensive game. I test.
Right. No, I'm saying all around. I'm saying, but that's what we got to stop getting into. Because see, that's what y'all got into. That's what people got into when they talked about the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. They just looked at offense. They didn't look at both sides of the court. If you're looking at all aspects of the game instead of just scoring the basketball, Jimmy Butler is a better player than T-Mac.
So if they match up with each other, they're across from each other. I'm not talking about. Let's talk about what happened here. Let's talk about. Why do you hate this argument? That's how basketball works. Because when y'all do.
No, it's not, Tom. No, it is not. No, it is not, Tom. No, it is not, Tom.
Hold up, Fluent. Let him get it off.
I didn't say 1-on-1. I said if they're matched up against each other, across from each other. You know what I'm saying? So what y'all want to do is y'all want to say, oh well, this and that. Well, that adds too much. There's too much gray area in there. When we talk about this team, this coach, that coach, I want to see Tom, what do you think is going to happen if these two guys are on the court with each other? Like how T-Mac used to be on the court with Kobe. You know what I'm saying? When they're going against each other, what do you think?
I think a Jimmy Butler-led team will overperform expectations, and a T-Mac led team will perform or underperform expectations because that's what I've seen.
Just give me any average T-Mac team, and let's put them against one of Jimmy's teams. I personally think that Jimmy can't hang with T-Mac. I don't think Jimmy wants a 7-game series against T-Mac.
So Mars asked the question. He said, what team did T-Mac have that you thought would go a certain place? And if the answer is none, that's fine. Did you think a Jimmy Butler-led team was going to the finals? So he exceeded expectations this year and in the bubble. Don't tell me you thought that Miami
and in the bubble, I don't think Jimmy Butler was just this all-world player that everyone seems to make him out to.
No, he's not. He was not. No, he was not. No, he was not.
No, but we give Jimmy Butler so much credit for 2020 when he wasn't far and away the best player performing on that team. He wasn't. But with just revisionist history, it's just making it seem like Jimmy Butler is just making his team go.
Was he the best player and leader on that team that
exceeded? Yes, he was the best player on that team.
Mars, say that again.
Mars, repeat that, Mars. Hold up right quick, Fluent. Repeat that.
We make it seem as if Jimmy Butler in the bubble was just outperforming everyone on his team far and away to get to the finals. He was not.
Yeah, I didn't say
not
that.
what happened. The team was just a very good team. Okay, Jimmy Butler was the best player. Team has never had a team that has played that well with
Yo, fellas, there's 5 people talking right now.
I'm going to ask Mars a question because Mars asked a question about T-Mac and what team did he have that could. What team did T-Mac lead that exceeded expectations?
Tone.
I think some of those Orlando teams making the playoffs.
That's a lie. Hold on, Tone. I got him. Tone. Wait. Hold on, Tone. He's lying. The year that they won a championship in the bubble, Jimmy Butler.
They made the finals.
Excuse me. The year they went to the finals in the bubble. Excuse me. Jimmy Butler led the team in scoring 22.2 points. The next leading scorer was Gordon Dragic with 19.1. Jimmy Butler led the team in assists with 6. The next person was Gordon Dragic with 4.4. Jimmy Butler led the team in steals with 2.0. The next person was Bam Adebayo of 1 and Gordon Dragic with 1. Jimmy Butler damn near led them in every statistical category.
Because you led them in every statistical category, that means he was completely outperforming everybody. That's not what I'm saying.
But hold on. But Mars ain't 10 years old. He don't need no babysitter.
That's not why I said. That's not why I said.
But hold on, Grill Town. But let me put something else in your brain then. Well, for that playoffs, Gordon Dragic shot 44% from the field. Jimmy Butler 48%. For the playoffs, Jimmy Butler shot 34.9. Gordon Dragic shot 34.6. So what you're saying is, for the playoffs, Jimmy Butler shot 85 from the free throw line. Gordon Dragic shot 80. So what Fluent just said is during that run, was Jimmy the best player on that team? He was. No, because hold on. It ain't just you can't hold on. You can't just hold on. You can't just compartmentalize one series or one thing because you can still be the best player overall. Jimmy, if anybody is sitting here and say Jimmy wasn't the best player overall, that's insane. Because if that's how you feel, hold on.
He said
he was the best player on that team, Phil Town.
No one argued with that. You're misconstruing what I said. What I said was getting to the finals, meaning the first 3 rounds in the Eastern Conference. Jimmy Butler wasn't far and away the best player. That's what I said. The finals, he was far and away the best player, and everyone seems to just assume that's what he was doing the whole thing. I said getting there. The first 3
here's why I disagree with you again. You're going to say Goran Dragic was, but here's what I say, right? Goran Dragic averaged a few more.
He wasn't by far.
I'm saying. But okay, so who do you think the best player was going up into the finals?
Jesus Christ. Listen, I said he wasn't by far and away. I never said he wasn't the best.
So hold on. So he was. Yeah. Okay, so look. So basically, we can make the point. He was the best player every single year since he's been in Miami.
That's fair.
100%.
Right. Okay. So cool. T-Mac was the best player on every team he was on every year from Orlando all the way up until Houston. Right or wrong?
Was he the best player when he was running with Yao that year in 07, 08?
Yeah, he was better than Yao. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Because in Houston, he was still putting up those first 2 years, 26, 27 points a game. Yao was averaging what?
No, he didn't.
Yes, he was. Hold on. Yes, he was.
No, he did not.
Yes, he was. Hold on. I got it right here. Real time. In Houston, T-Mac averaged. In Houston, he averaged 25.7, 24.4, 24.6. You want me to keep going?
Keep going.
21.6, and that was it after that. He got hurt the next year.
Right.
So one of those years they missed the playoffs, by the way.
Those years, right? Hold on. And he was a leader of the team. Mm-hmm. He was still an all-star 2 of those years, 3 of those years.
Now bring up what Yao was doing. Why you
talking
about Tracy McGrady? Bring up what Yao was doing. Hold on, bro. I got you. Those same years. Hold on. Those same years, Yao was averaging 18.3 points per game and 8.4 rebounds. That was the first year. Those years. Okay.
That was the first year. That was when they won 51 games. The very next year, Yao Ming was averaging, 22.3 points and 10.2 rebounds. T-Mac was averaging 24.4, 6.5, 4.8 assists, 1.3 steals. So let's keep going. The next year after that, Yao Ming was averaging, the next year after that, they won 52 games, and Yao Ming was averaging 25 a game. That was 1 year. That was 1 year Yao Ming played better than T-Mac. He was averaging 25 and 9.4.
So he wasn't the best player on those teams far and away, like you just said.
Well, no. I'm saying for most of those points from Orlando to Houston, all the way to the last year.
Okay, which is fair. But when I think about what Jimmy Butler has done, again, what we got to do, we got to stick to the point here, which is Jimmy Butler was far and away the best player in the finals. But getting there, Jimmy Butler didn't blow anybody away with what he was doing. That team, that team that he was on, number one, they had gotten together during that time, and they had some things go their way. Bam was fantastic defensively. So it wasn't just like it was a Jimmy Butler-led team where Jimmy Butler was the only guy. Bam was awesome on that crew. Goran Dragic was also one of the better sharpshooters. They had just gotten Duncan Robinson. We're talking about a guy in Tyler Hero who also was fantastic in the bubble, quote unquote.
But these were but Grill Town, respectfully, these was all unproven guys outside of Bam, basically.
Yes,
you talking about all unproven guys versus T-Mac, who had the Shane Battier's on his team. You talking about T-Mac, who had what's the boy's name from Argentina flew in the ad that was killing? Luis Scola. He had to run our test on his team. Right. You talking about T-Mac, who had the Ray for Alstons on his team at that time. T-Mac, who had the guys like Chuck Hayes and all those guys.
What you're doing, Ticket, what you're doing is you're proving his point, because all of these guys that you said, now what you're doing is you're now lessening what T-Mac should have done because of all the talent that he had on the crew. Why didn't he do more as opposed to Jimmy Butler, whose crew was less talented? Meanwhile, he took that team to the NBA Finals.
But now we're just going off names. Now we're just going off names and not how.
We ain't going off names.
That's exactly what you just did. You just went off names. You just went off names.
Hold on. Luis Scola wouldn't predict.
Hold up right quick, Tigger. Hold up. Go ahead, Bob. Get it off.
You said unproven guys. They were unproven leading up to that. It's the same thing this year. Guys like Max Strus, Caleb Morton. These guys, you say they're
unproven. That's my point.
But they're playing well, so why does it matter if they're not proven?
No, because he took guys. Hold on. This is why, Bob. He took dudes that did nothing in other situations, and they're playing big time with him. For example, Martin did nothing.
Give somebody credit for what somebody else
I'm not talking about. But you got Bob. Let me ask you, Bob. Okay, so Bob, let me ask you a question, dog. You meet a girl. She got a bag when you meet her. She got a dusty bag when you meet her. After you meet her, she got red bottoms. She got new shades. She got Gucci shades. Her bank account full. Was she better with you or without you?
Well, you cleaned her up.
So you made it better, right? So hold on. So Martin was in Charlotte, and they cut him and sent him home. They waived him and sent him home. It took a rapper to say, "Hey, get this guy shot."
Is it Jimmy Butler or is it Eric Spoelstra?
Hold on, you're not here. Is Jimmy Butler's on the court. Jimmy Butler's on the court.
Then why are you giving Doc Rivers credit for Orlando, not T-Mac?
Hold on, you're not. Once again. T-Mac was the one who went up to the mic saying, "Yeah, man, we getting out the first round before the series is over." Hold on.
That doesn't answer the question.
You just said the same thing about Jimmy Butler. You was talking all types of shit about Jimmy Butler.
No, I said if Jimmy don't close the deal. No, I wasn't talking, bro. I said if Jimmy don't close the deal, I said you can't do the talking. I said you can't do the talking and not close the deal. That's facts. T-Mac did talking and he didn't close the deal.
Can you answer the question? Because you just avoided the question for some reason.
What question I avoided?
You gave Doc Rivers the credit for the Orlando Magic and what they were doing when T-Mac was the one on the court. But you're giving Jimmy Butler
right
and not Eric Spoelstra. So why is T-Mac not getting the credit?
No, I gave Doc Rivers the credit because Doc Rivers wasn't on the court. Hold on. Can I answer the question? Can I answer the question, little boy?
You see how you're being hypocritical?
Little boy, can I answer the question, little boy? Because you're talking to a man. You're talking to a man. Can I answer the question? If you're going to ask me a question, don't cut me off. If you're going to ask me a question, don't cut me off like I'm some boy. If you're going to ask me a question, don't cut me off and let me answer the question.
Go ahead.
The answer to the question is I gave Doc Rivers credit because he put him in his position to be successful. They were up 3-1. So if you're a superstar, you close the deal. The same thing with Spo. He put Jimmy Butler in a position they was up 3-0. So obviously the coach put you in the right position. Now what do your stars do? Your stars close. T-Mac never closed his whole career. So that right there lets you know that's on him because the real stars, they close. The superstars, the best players in the game, they close those deals. When you're up in a series like that, 3-1, and you get walked down and your superstar can't close and he doing the talking, that's on him. I'm not putting that on the coach. That's why I said if Jimmy don't win that series, I'm putting this because Jimmy was doing all the talking, guaranteeing wins. T-Mac was over there talking about, yeah, we going to the next round. You remember that Chill Town? I ain't lying. And he didn't close the deal. So that's on him.
Okay.
He was put in position.
So just to make sure we understand, the coach gets you to the closeout game. And they get the credit for getting you there, and then the closeout game is on the players. That's what you're saying.
You can take him to the water, but you can't make him drink.
So the first 3 wins goes to the coach. That's their credit, and then the last win goes to the players.
I'm gonna say it to you again. It's the same thing this year with Philly and Doc Rivers. He took him to the water. Hold on. Let me finish, Mars. He took him to the water. Joel Embiid and James Harden got to win Game 7.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
Stilltown know this. Hold on. Fluent know this. Y'all acting like turn your head, acting like I'm saying something that's foreign. Just because y'all hate me, don't mean y'all gotta do that, bro.
No one
don't gotta come here lie like that.
I'm gonna ask my question again.
I hate that. Y'all compromise what y'all about because y'all hatred for me, bro, and that's sad.
No, we ain't doing that.
All compromise aside,
I'm gonna ask my question again.
Victim mentality.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna ask my question again. So you are saying that the first 3 wins goes to the coach, but then on the closeout, it's the player's responsibility to get
Once again, you can ask Fluent in Chilltown. When you're a superstar and you're in a position where you're 3-0 or 3-1, you gotta close the deal. For example, what did Mike Malone just say about Jokic? He said, I ain't called no plays. I let Jokic call the plays when it was down, when we was in Game 4. They closed the deal.
I'll take it as a yes, because I clearly a straight answer.
Hold on. If I'm Chilltown, if I'm lying, tell me I'm lying. If your superstars in a position 3-1, 3-0, they got to close the deal.
End it.
Thank you. Come on, bro. That's rocket science.
Is there anybody up here that wants to call ticket out on this cap?
No, you can't ask questions. You don't get a straight answer. You can just move on. That's fine.
I just gave you a straight answer.
No. Okay, cool.
I just know you didn't get the answer.
No. It was a yes or no question. So yes, I didn't get the answer I wanted. It was a yes or no question. You went on another spiel for some reason. So yes, I didn't get the answer I wanted. So you didn't give me a straight answer. So yes.
Fellas, right quick, I do want to let the chat know this show is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. And as of today, up until 5 Eastern time, we will be doing a $500 giveaway for anybody that has signed up for an account. All you have to do, screenshot a picture of your account with your username and send it to the Player's Choice Instagram or my Instagram.
Hey, Stephen Torres, you say my time is done on PC. You got a better chance of getting pregnant, boy. Tu sabe.
Hey, Steven, just make sure you send your Underdog Fantasy account and get a chance to win that 400. All right, moving along. I'm gonna dive into a couple super chats, but actually, before I do that, in light of yesterday's episode and in light of this whole Jimmy Butler thing that we got going on right now, I'm gonna give you 5 players, and I want everybody to just let me know if they would lead that team to a championship in Jimmy Butler's same role. You replace him. The first player that I have for you is Scottie Pippen. Does he lead this Miami team to an NBA championship? Damo, yeah, I'm going to start with you.
Oh, easy. No, I don't think so. Me being a young guy, I go back and look at Scottie, and all it took for me is seeing him pout and cry on the bench when they told Kukoc should hit the game winner. He was
wasn't that simple, Damo. It was not that simple. It wasn't.
It wasn't. OG, it could be deeper. It could be deeper all you want it to be. To me, it looked mentally weak, and you can't have a mentally weak mind trying to win you games and championships. It takes a strong man to do that, and I don't think Scottie's that man.
Got you. Chill.
Well, what Jimmy Butler did in that first year, no. But if we go in 4 years later, I think he could do it.
Okay. Fluent?
No. He's not mentally tough enough. That's the difference between him and Jimmy. He's not mentally tough enough.
Okay. Mars?
You can see him right now. Losing his mind. Losing his mind.
How are you not mentally tough enough and you play with Jordan for 8 years, 9 years? Play with Michael Jordan for 9 years and you're not
because
mentally
it's a lot
enough.
easier. It's a lot easier. You said this before. It's a lot easier to puff up your chest and be tough when you know you got them boys behind you.
It's a different.
Not.
Sure, that's absolute fact, Tom. But when you running with a dude like Jordan, who, by the way, wasn't always like that, sticking your chest out, you had to prove that you could run with him. Jay ran off plenty of guys who weren't, quote unquote, mentally tough enough. Guys like Dennis Hobson. Horace Grant made it clear that he couldn't take it from Jordan. Meanwhile, Scottie Pippen, who Jordan said is his best tearmate that he's ever had, but he wasn't. Yes, he said that. He's the best. He was the best.
Phenomenal number 2. Absolutely.
Which nobody is arguing that he's a number 2. I'm not arguing.
Never argue. And here's my issues with the mental toughness thing. Okay, a couple of examples. I got a headache. He scores 1 point. He does get upset. He does get upset when Tony Kukoc, the call is drawn up for Tony Kukoc to take the last shot. He doesn't. That puts himself over team. I don't like that. And the third example is this. Everyone always complains about that contract and how he got robbed because it was a long-term contract and da-da-da-da. You know why he took that contract? Because he didn't fully believe in himself. And he thought, I have to take this contract because I have to take care of my family, this, the other stuff. He didn't believe he could earn a better contract. So all of those things, not one, but all of those things combined and things that I saw on the court tell me, phenomenal player. I am not putting down Scottie Pippen. You know, I think he's one of the best all-around players ever.
Right.
I don't think he's mentally tough enough to lead a team that needs his mental toughness, that needs him to say, yo, we got this, right? Because for all the things that are bad about Jimmy, you know, the bad shooting games, the bad scoring games, whatever, and we all ripped him for it when he was losing, but every time, what did he say? He stayed calm. He was cool. He go, yo, we're winning the next one. Yo, we're winning the next one. No, yo, we're winning the next one. I don't think I get that out of Pippen. That's game-wise, a different conversation. Up here, I'm making nervous.
Which is fair, Tone. So let's rewind. Let's rewind the clock back to him having a migraine in Game 7. You do realize that the reason why he had a migraine, he needed glasses. That's what we found out the next year. That the reason why he had a headache is because he needed glasses. It wasn't because he cheesed up. It wasn't because he wasn't tough enough. And it showed the very next year when he averaged 22-8 against them in the Eastern Conference Finals. And in the closeout game on CBS, he was the player of the game. I think he went 26-10-4 against them. So that's number one. Number two, him playing in that Eastern Conference semifinals game when Phil Jackson gave the ball to Tony Kukoc. Well, I've been here for as long as I've been here. I've been playing in the shadow of Jordan for as long as I've been playing in the shadow of Jordan. I earned the right to draw it up for me. Don't get me wrong now. Tony Kukoc had hit a number of game winners that year. Yes, he did. He had hit a number of game winners that year. And Phil had a package of plays where he felt like, yo, I can run this for him. Scottie Pippen, on the other hand, goes, wait a minute. I've been here for as long as I've been here. I'm the most dangerous guy on the floor. I'm the one you should be running it for. which I can appreciate that simply off the strength that he's been there for as long as he's been there. Now, when we're talking about being mentally tough, we're talking about a guy in Scottie Pippen who in Game 6 in Salt Lake City, which was the toughest place to play in the NBA during that time, who could barely walk, still went out there. He could have definitely rolled over. He could have definitely said, I'm not playing. He stood up and he went out there barely walking, and they won. And not only did they won in dramatic fashion. So to say that a guy like Scottie Pippen wasn't mentally tough at that time, I think that's completely wrong.
Well, let me ask you a question. So if LeBron in Game 7 versus the Warriors, or Jordan in Game 7 against the Pacers, or pick your Game 7 superstar, Jimmy against Boston this year said, you know what, I got a migraine, and they don't play and they score 1 point. What are we talking about? What are we saying to them?
Well, we're not saying we're not saying that Jimmy Butler is great, but number one, Scottie Pippen did play in that game. He was just terrible. He went 1 for 10. It wasn't like he didn't play at all. He did play in that game. He was just bad. And we found out later on why he was so bad. He had a migraine, and it turns out he needed glasses.
How many migraines did he have the rest of the season without his glasses?
Hold up right quick, Ox. Mars, I want you to go ahead and answer this question next.
It's possible. I think their half-court offense is worse with Scottie Pippen because I think his self-creation is probably worse. But I think they're better in transition. I think they're a better defensive team. I think they probably play at a faster pace. And I also think Scottie Pippen's a better passer and playmaker than Jimmy Butler too. So maybe guys like Gabe Vincent with a larger offensive load probably look better as well. And if Giannis goes down, I think they can beat the Bucks. The Knicks have who on their team, so they can beat them. So then it comes.
Can I ask you a question, Mars? Mars, can I ask you a question?
Can I finish what I'm saying, and then you can?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
And then the Boston series is where I think it gets really tricky. I don't know if they can beat Boston. I think that's maybe the ceiling, but I think it goes either way. I think they could be a conference finals team with Scottie Pippen, and further than that, it's up in the air. And now you think,
Mars, do you think Scottie Pippen could go out and drop 56, 50, 45 multiple times like Jimmy Butler had to do in multiple games against the Bucks and in other series that he's led this team?
No, I don't think Scottie Pippen can be the scorer that Jimmy Butler was in the first round.
So then how do you think he could have pulled that off if they needed those performances? If they needed those performances, how do you think he could have? Because over the years, those performances where Jimmy had big games, for example, last year, to push it to a Game 7, he had to go into Boston and drop 50. Am I right, Grilltown? Do you think Scottie Pippen would have been able to go do what Jimmy did in that position to get them to that Game 7? Or like he was doing against the Bucks, dropping 50, whatever he dropped on them. Like last year in the playoff, dropping 55 on catch. You think he'd have been able to do that, Scottie?
I think no. But to answer the question, no. But I think there's more layers to it than that. I think the team would play differently. So would they need 50 the same way they do the way they play with Jimmy Butler? Maybe not, because I think their defense would probably be better. So the other team would score less points. Meaning you don't need to score as many points to win. I also think that the fact that Scottie Pippen is a much better inside scorer and can get downhill better than Jimmy Butler also creates more of those open threes for his teammates, which would also allow guys like Duncan Robinson to be better, Gabe Vincent to be better, Max Strus to be better. So does Scottie Pippen need to score 50 to win? Maybe not. Maybe he only needs to score 28, but him getting other guys involved better than Jimmy Butler does means Miami might still be just a good enough offensive team while being a better defensive team, and they can still win. You can win them in a multitude of ways. The way Jimmy Butler did it was with the scoring 50, blah, blah, blah. The way Scottie Pippen might do it might be different, but it would still end in a win. That's where I'm coming from in this situation. So,
Ticket, can you answer the question now?
Hell no.
Who would you rather?
Hell no. And Chilltown know what he's doing. And I'm mad that Fluent ain't call him out on this. All Chilltown's trying to do is diminish Michael Jordan and what Michael Jordan is. Fluent, you know I came to bring the pain, Fluent. You know I came to bring the pain. They call out the cat, Fluent. Fluent. And you know, Fluent, we even gonna get into the other part because we ain't gonna talk about his name. But we know why Chilltown, everything Chilltown does, it's a reason for it. But it's a reason for the season, baby. So when he say this stuff about Scottie, we already know it's a dumbed down mic because it's to praise somebody else. Chilltown, like he'll remain nameless today. But like I said before, hell no, Scottie Pippen couldn't do it. I was Fluent on this.
Clutch Sports doesn't send you
Fluent. Boy, that boy getting hellified checks. Let me tell you something, Fluent. Ain't no way in hell, Fluent. We seen Scottie with a loaded Portland Trailblazers team. And he folded. Scottie Pippen mentally crushed. Remember when he went back and threw all the towels on the floor? He mentally was just damaged. Because, bro, no, sorry. You 16-point lead in the fourth quarter to go to the NBA Finals. You got a loaded team with a prime Rashid, a prime Damon Stoudemire, a prime Bonzi Wells, all these other dudes, and you couldn't get that through? You as a leader couldn't get that, and you gonna tell me? Scottie Pippen, I ain't saying he couldn't play D like Mars said. I ain't saying. No, hold on. No. They was way better than these. That team was way, and they had the Lakers dead to rights. These are facts. And Scottie and them blew it. And that's why Scottie was so mad. His leadership was never where it was supposed to be. And what Fluent said proved it because of his jealousy of other players getting off. So how would he have felt? Think about this in certain situations where you have guys like Martin shooting big shots instead of Scottie. Scottie already showed you. Jimmy Butler showed you he don't care if them dudes shoot the big shots in the clutch. He cool. He'll accept it. Scottie already showed you he had animosity in his heart that Phil even thought about drawing up a play for another dude when the game was on the wood. Jimmy Butler don't move like that, and he instills that confidence in those guys to play that way. Would Scottie Pippen have accepted that? Would Scottie Pippen mentally have been tough enough to get through situations where he lost 3 games in a row and then had to go on the road to win a fourth game and close the series in Boston? I don't think so. I do think he was talented. I do think he could play ball, but the 2 things I don't think he was mentally tough, and I don't think he could give you those performances that you needed, that Jimmy gave you on multiple occasions, 50 balls, 40-point triple-doubles in the finals. I don't think that Scottie Pippen could do that, and that's the difference. Hell no, Chill Town. Stop capping, nigga.
That Portland team did get swept out the first round 2 years in a row, so that wasn't a good look for them. They were way too talented for that to happen. But yeah, I hear you. I'm with you.
You mean by that half-mile freight train of the Los Angeles Lakers? Is that what you're talking about? Because it wasn't like they got swept out the playoffs by a good team. That half-mile freight train with no break Los Angeles Lakers team that swept them out the playoffs those next 2 years.
Well, I'm just pointing it out because people say he never got swept. He got swept in the first round twice in a row.
Yo,
my Lakers.
It is your turn. You're up. Would Scottie Pippen do the same thing as Jimmy Butler and lead his team to a NBA Finals?
Well, finally, somebody could come up here and keep it real. You know what I'm saying?
No, he didn't, Tony. You dumb.
Because I don't
change your name from Tony. Pippen did not get them to the East Finals without Jordan. Dumbass.
That's not true.
Since I have no interest in preserving a legacy that doesn't need to preserve, I'm not going to sit here and do this for Michael Jordan. I'm not going to diminish Scottie Pippen to uplift Michael Jordan, who doesn't need anybody to uplift him. He's already the GOAT. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I don't got to do that. We'll start with that. Second of all, Fluent, I would like to address the whole contract situation. You know, some people come from nothing. So when you're offered that much money, you take it. It's not so much about not wanting to prove themselves or not.
No one said not to take it.
Well, all I'm saying is some people come from nothing. So when you offer that money, you don't sit around and be like, you know what, I could do this. Nah, because my mom doing bad, so I don't got time to risk a broken anything.
I don't think you want to get in this debate with me because I know way more about it.
I can get in any debate with you. I'm not worried about that. Don't take a personal point.
I'm just saying because you're saying
what I'm saying is simply this: some people come from nothing, and so when you offer them that money, they take the money. They don't got time to. They don't got parents to rely on. They don't got family that got generational wealth. They're thinking about their mother. So that's all I'm saying about that. As far as him not wanting Tony Kukoc to take that shot, there's no excuse for that. That's being a bad teammate. You need to play ball. I agree with that. But Scottie Pippen's better than Jimmy Butler. So yes, he could do this. You getting walked down by the Lakers is not the same thing as playing against the New York Knicks, a hurt Milwaukee Bucks team, which the Heat get all the credit for. You play who's in front of you. But y'all act like when Scottie Pippen went to these teams, the Blazers and the Rockets, like he was the same Scottie Pippen, like he wasn't playing on a broken back. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it was broken. He had a messed up back though, so it's not the same Scottie Pippen.
I thought we don't make excuses for injuries.
We don't make excuses. We're not making excuses.
I'm not making excuses. I said
that is a fact. That was going on during that time. That's not an excuse. That's just a fact. That was going on at the time. But keep going, big guy.
That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is that's not the same Scottie Pippen. That's all I said. But yeah, to answer the question, yeah, simple.
And I'd like to think that team was better the next year, because if we don't remember, I will remind you guys, the year before Scottie Pippen got on that team when they lost, as you guys said, they were up 16. They were up 15 points. 16 points in the fourth quarter. This is the same crew that the year before, they were mopped out of the playoffs. They were smoked against the San Antonio Spurs. Mopped right out of the playoffs. So this is a better team than what it was the year before.
So Bob, I want to go back to the contract thing for a second. So I don't know if do you know that when he signed that contract, it made him the 8th highest player in the NBA? The second year, some other people.
I remember. I think it must have been you. I believe you did.
Player. And then in year 3 of that contract, again, only because other people signed contracts, he became the 24th highest player. Pretty good for a number 2 guy. Do you know that they had offered him more money on a 4-year deal, and he instead took less money per year on a 10-year deal because he said, his words, I wasn't sure how I'd be able to perform in that 4 years to earn a second contract. That's lack in faith in yourself. So to your point, those first 4 years, if he signed the contract that they originally offered him for more money, would have more than taken care of his mother, his father, his family, everybody that he took care of. And good for him, because you're right. He came from, if you've seen where he came from nothing. And then he would have, if he bet on himself, probably would have got that big money deal in year 5. And it wouldn't have been a money issue because he would have gotten almost the same total amount of money in those 4 years.
So what I'm saying
for the 8.
What I'm saying, Fluent,
is an excuse.
Okay, so what I'm saying, Fluent, once again, it's like everybody's not as financially literate as.
I ain't saying about. Hold on, I ain't saying about his contract.
No.
So I was talking to Fluent.
Oh, my bad. I thought you said Fluent Ticket. I'm about to say I ain't saying nothing about his contract.
No. I'm not Fluent.
And Bob, you my boy. But you talking about pulling somebody down? Ain't that what Scotty doing to Michael Jordan when he said he was a horrible player? Ain't that what he doing to Jordan? What you say we doing?
We addressed that. We addressed that before.
Hold on. If you was my teammate, Bob, if you was my teammate, Bob, would you do that to me?
Ticket.
If you was an asshole,
no, Bob. If you was my teammate, would you?
I'm answering the question. You asked me. I'm answering the question. If you was the type of cat that was walking around calling us bitches and treating us like shit, just because and you say I have to do that for us to win, then I'm gonna be like, yeah, dude was a jerk for real. Like,
but hold on, Bob. So let me get this straight. Hold on, Fluent. Watch it, Fluent. I got him. Fluent. I got him. Fluent. So Bob, all these years. Hold on, Bob. I want to ask you this because I don't want you to move from that. All these years, Bob, from all the way up until I'm saying no, Bob, all the way up into the documentary. Even though Mike said all those things, Scottie Pippen praised Mike all the way up into the documentary and said he was the best thing that happened to him. Then when the documentary come out, all of a sudden he's a horrible player. So now you're going to tell me that it's okay. So you said that you would say that.
Let me tell you.
I can't yell.
If honestly, now this is how I look at it. If everything that we've been going through is behind closed doors, we could keep it between us as men. But when the documentaries start coming out and everybody's seeing like, this how Jordan was treating y'all, then okay, yeah, we can talk about it. We can speak on it. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. And on top of that ticket, as long as I'm telling the truth, and it ain't no court of law type shit, as long as I'm telling the truth, and you know what I'm saying, I'm not testifying against you. I'm not testifying, and I'm telling the truth. Then yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. What's even more so is we know for a fact that Michael Jordan is a dickhead. Bro won't talk to Charles Barkley for telling the truth in the interview. He's an asshole. There's nothing wrong with that. He's the greatest player that ever played, but he's still an asshole. There's nothing wrong with
and that's fair. But let me just say 2 things. One, we all don't know what's really going on with him and Chuck. But anyways, to Ticket's point,
though. Well, no, because that's what they said. But you always be like, oh, well, this is going on over there. This is going on over here. But if these people say it, we have no choice.
I just want to say the Ticket's point, though. I just want to say the Ticket's point because,
and then we got to move on to the next player after this.
Yeah, that's cool. Let's go. What Pippen's doing. So Ticket, if Bob's son started dating your ex-wife that you're still in love with, you're probably talking trash about Bob. I don't think
that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
I personally don't think it's all about that, though.
It is all about that. It is all about that, bro. That's all there is to it, because it wasn't like that before. If you go listen to every interview Scotty had, and you can pull it up, Ron, any interview, he praised Jordan. He praised how Jordan and Charles Oakley and them guys was tough with him and made him tougher. They praised that. Look, all the dudes on the team, Scott Burrell, they all praised him. All them other dudes praised Jordan. Luke Longley, did you see his thing, Chilltown and Fluent and all y'all? He praised Michael Jordan for pushing him hard like that. Kobe Bryant's teammates, Pau Gasol, all these dudes, they praised him for being like that. The great ones, Shaq was like that. What do you think it was like to go into practice with Shaq every day? Shaq wasn't gonna play with you, dog. So don't act like that's just Jordan. All the great ones is like that, bro. Shaq is out here taking dunks and making do. Come on, man.
If they're all assholes, then they're all assholes. We can talk about it. If you're gonna do shit like that to me at practice in the locker room, I don't gotta keep it a secret. And if I speak on it, it's a problem. See, that's what's wrong with y'all. Y'all want to protect Michael Jordan. He don't need.
We're not protecting Mike. We're not saying that. Hold on, we're not saying that, Mike. We're not. No. We're saying no. Hey, Ron, I'm done. Hey, Ron, I'm done. Ron, I'm done. We're just saying. Hold on. We're just saying he's a liar. Hold on. We're just saying. Ron. We moving on. Hey, Ron. All we saying is that he lied when he said Jordan was a horrible player, because we saw different. We saw it.
Yeah, that was not true.
All right, y'all. Next player. Hold on, Bob. Relax.
Was he a horrible player, Bob?
Next player.
No, he was a great
horrible
scorer,
player, Bob.
It wasn't.
Was he a horrible player, Bob?
No, he wasn't.
Horrible player, Bob.
They got to the playoffs as a rookie. The team wasn't there, so it did lead something.
This conversation is not about Jordan.
Beautiful 38 wins.
This conversation is not about Jordan, y'all. This conversation is not about Jordan. So look,
score 60, winning nothing.
Look. The next player that I want to bring up is Charles Barkley. Does he lead this team to the NBA Finals? Dom, I'm gonna start with you once again.
Charles Oakley?
Barkley.
Oh, Barkley.
That's a good question. I'm trying. This team,
Ron, we talking about the same team in the same circumstance, right? Playing the same.
You flip flop Jimmy out. And you put in Charles Barkley.
Okay.
Dom, I love you. It take you that long to think about this?
In this
era?
Yes.
I'm trying to think about it. Nah, I'm gonna say no.
In this era with Scottie Pippen too. Forget that for one.
Nah, I'm gonna say no.
Dom keeping it a buck. I salute you, Dom.
I'm gonna say no. I want to say yeah. I'm a big Barkley guy. I want to say yeah, but nah, I don't see it. Without the lack of shooting that he had, him running, him not being as any kind of effectiveness.
The worst 3-point shooter.
Yeah, the worst. Nah, I can't go for it.
And shout out, keep it a buck. Go ahead, Chill.
So I watched Charles Barkley take Hersey Hawkins, Johnny Dawkins, Rick Mahorn, Mike Jaminski to the Eastern Conference semifinals. In that era, he can't take Max Strus, Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent. The way these guys are playing, and the way they're playing off of Jimmy Butler, and the way that they're playing in that system, he can't take them to the NBA Finals. Yes, he can. Yes.
Fluent.
I love Chuck. I do. One of my favorites. I don't see how his style of play fits in with the Miami Heat in this era. Like he's not we're not talking about him being a really good playmaker. I've just mentioned he's the worst 3-point shooter in the history of basketball, and he could because he had over 1,000 attempts because he kept shooting them. He kept missing them, but he kept shooting them. So how is a guy who rebounding significantly better than Jimmy Butler, but how's a guy who's not a playmaker, isn't driving and dishing to these guys, isn't a playmaker? How is he with his style of play helping this team? I don't think he is. Are him and Bam getting in each other's way? I just don't see how it fits. So I think he's a great player. I just don't think it fits with this team. So no, I don't think he takes him we're saying to the finals, right? So no.
Mars.
Without illegal defense, no. He's also one of the worst defenders ever. So Duncan Robinson can't play on the court with him because you can't have those two egregious defenders on the court at the same time. Not to mention he's also one of the most ball dominant superstars we've ever seen as well, holding the ball for damn near the whole shot clock trying to score. So that also takes away from other players. So Charles Barkley's game just doesn't work today. It doesn't. He benefited from illegal defense and he maximized it to the best of his ability, and that's great. You put that today, that's not going to happen. So no, he doesn't make the finals. I still think he's better than Jimmy Butler, but being better than someone doesn't mean that you do the better in the same situation.
It doesn't work.
Basketball is a game of situations. So the fact that the game is just so different, I don't think Charles Barkley does what Jimmy Butler's doing on this Heat team.
Ox.
Yeah, this one's kind of hard just because I see what y'all saying. Like when it comes to fit, but I think you get out of Chuck what you want from Bam as far as that aggression on the offensive end. Man, yeah, this is really tough for me. I don't know, Ron. I don't know, Ron. I think I'm gonna have to say no. Oh wait, no, man. Come on, we talking about Charles Barkley, yo. Like
6'4" Chuck jacking up threes.
He's killing everybody that they play against. Everybody.
This era, he gonna be trying to shoot from the logo, huh, Fluent?
Yeah.
But this the thing. Now this is the thing. Now if Coach Spo can get him from shooting all them threes and just playing his game with Coach Spo, and he'll come up with something. But I'm gonna say no just because of fit. I'm gonna say no. If he was replacing Bam instead of Jimmy, then yeah. But
okay, how you feel, Ticket?
Hell no. And we're gonna have a different conversation. And I agree with what Mars was saying, premises, and then I disagree with the end of what Mars said. Here's the thing, man. He don't play no D, and that's big because you got a lot of guys on Miami's team. They play good team defense, but you don't have the same defenders. And Chilltown was capping when he was talking about, he's taking those teams. Those teams were way better defensive teams around him. So him being, he would get torched by some of these guys. And I'm talking about the way they can spread the floor out in this era. Charles, man, no, hell no. And we're going to have a different conversation about Jimmy Butler if he win his finals too. Somebody said that, Mars said that he thinks that Charles is better than Jimmy. Yes, he is now. But Jimmy wins the chip, finals MVP, leads his team. And what we've seen the last 4 years out of this guy, in this small of a span, he's going to be elevated over a lot of guys all the time. Because a lot of guys couldn't do it. Charles Barkley couldn't do this. He had way more talented teams. Charles Barkley could not do what Jimmy has just done in 4 years. If Jimmy wins the finals in the finals MVP, it's a lot of dudes outside of Charles Barkley that are on the all-time great list that could not do what Jimmy is doing right now. And when you think about that, bro, you got to think about that in all-time, credential type of performances and type of leadership and type of game. You don't just do this with all these undrafted guys. And let's be honest, Pat Riley have done him a disservice. Pat Riley haven't really got him the requisite talent to win a championship. He's done this shit with makeshift type teams. Injuries all over the place. It's been injuries every single run. Major players on his team have been hurt, and he's been pulling through. So, like I said, man, yeah, hell no. Charles Barkley, no, hell no, couldn't do that. And like I said, you can chill. Look, he thinking. Look at chill time. No, he ain't crazy. Hold on, Bob. He thinking.
I'm feeling you, Ticket, but I can't get with you right here though.
Anyone who says
you're gonna have, hold on. You're gonna have to.
Is taller than 6'4". Anyone who says Chuck is taller than 6'4" is lying. I stood face to face with the man. He's 6'4". And two, he shot 2 threes a game. Someone had asked how many threes he shot. That's the equivalent in terms of how many the team shoot of him shooting 10 today. So imagine your best player shooting.
That's why Ray Allen's a better shooter than Steph Curry.
Well, not only that,
that arithmetic facts.
Chill, what would you think about though, Chill? What would you think about, Chill? No, Chill. Don't change no thought. What would you think about when I said it about Jimmy? Because I seen your eyes. You was thinking, fool. I seen you. What you was thinking about?
First of all, you just said makeshift talent. Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Duncan Robinson.
I said makeshift team. Roster.
Once again, makeshift roster, makeshift teams, whatever you want to call it. What we completely discount, and we completely discount the development of these guys and what these guys turned into. It's not like he just threw this ragtag crew together. They developed these guys, and these guys turned into something in addition to running with Jimmy Butler. So same logic with Chuck. Tone is going to tell me that Chuck is going to shoot 10 threes under the impression that Chuck is just going to keep shooting long balls, even though the game has clearly changed, and I have to get better at this. So the logic that Chuck would not get better at that is amazing to me because he became a better post player. Why did he become a better post player? Because I play on the box. Why did he become a better transition player? Because I play in transition. So why wouldn't he become a better three-point shooter considering that the game is played behind the long ball line today? Because that's what I do. And that's what I'm going to have to do. Otherwise, I won't be around here. That's number one. Number two.
We're time machining. We're time machining. We're just plopping him in. He's got no time to practice.
I hate that, man.
I know, but that's what we're doing.
That's the point. When we do these, you're not going to get a realistic answer to these questions. Like, you can't transport someone 30 years and then like it doesn't work.
And to the people in the chat saying fun. I'm using my own eye judgment versus listen, I'm 6'3". I stood next to him like I stood next to Chill, and that's why I keep telling you, Chill's 6'4". He's not 6'3". And we were about the same height. He was a fraction taller than me. It doesn't take a mathematician to figure that out.
All right, fellas. I know we're talking about time machines and whatnot. So I'm gonna go with a couple players. And I literally got 4 more, but we're only gonna do 2 more because we have to move on. I want you guys to know we will be talking about everything you need to know about these NBA finals. We're gonna preview it. I'm gonna ask you guys every team's X factor. I'm gonna ask you guys what they need to do to win. Who has the better coaching, who has the better offense, who has the better defense, what star players are going to do, X, Y, and Z. We're going to get into all the X's and O's. But before that, I have 2 more players that I have to hear. They're a little closer to this generation, so we don't have to go back to the 90s. The first player is none other than Kevin Durant. Does he lead this team to an NBA?
Hell no. Hell no. I'm going to start first. Hell no, Ron. Why y'all do this to KD, man? Y'all want to put KD on the short for real, man? Why y'all
you did that on purpose, man.
Bro, KD have already showed you he willing to trade all those guys to try to get a super team and still couldn't get it done. He had a team that he could have took there with the OKC Thunder and got it done. Lost the finals when he had a good team. Had a team when he first went to Brooklyn that was set up all the way across the board. Great big man, interior play, bench play, shooting, all that. What did he do? He traded all of them for a super team. It blew up in his eyes. Like I said before, man, Kevin Durant, man, he ain't built for this life, man. And like I said, Ron, you're nasty for asking that question. So KD's probably going to watch. He probably going to say something to everybody on this panel. You understand what I'm saying? Because we say he can't. But the proof is in the pudding. Can't do it.
Hey, Tiki, he's trying to set us up, man.
Hi, Kevin. I hope you're enjoying your time out there with Mike.
You know what Fluid gonna say? You know he's trying to set us up.
He did.
All right, Damo.
Definitely pop up like the boogeyman.
If it's pre-broken down Kevin Durant, so first 7-year Kevin Durant, I'm gonna say yeah. If it's injury prone, constantly trying to get this big team up thing happening, Kevin Durant basically post up 20.
Let's go Oklahoma City KD. Let's take
Oklahoma City KD.
That's what we're talking about.
I'm gonna say yeah.
Woo! Oklahoma City KD.
MVP KD.
Hold on. We changing it. Hold on. So we changing it from.
We can change it. We can change it. We can change it. I wanted.
He's saying. Hold on. He's saying we're changing it from Brooklyn KD to Brooklyn KD to OKC KD.
Yeah.
If it's Brooklyn KD, I'm with you. Ticket. I'm with you. If it's Brooklyn KD. If it's
Oklahoma
City KD,
yeah.
He can.
Hell no, if it's Oklahoma City KD. Hell no. I'm gonna tell you why.
No, either way.
I'm gonna tell you why. Didn't Oklahoma City KD have problems in the playoffs against Tony Allen? So what do you think he would have did? Now again, he just got swept by the same Boston Celtics team Jimmy beat in 7. So you think that he gonna beat that Celtics team? He gonna beat this Milwaukee Bucks team with the role players that Jimmy got? Hell no. And KD's not that. Hold on. First of all, KD's not a leader. He said he ain't a leader. He said that, not me. He said that. Secondly, that's a big part of what Jimmy's doing is leadership. These are the facts, right? Secondly, remember this year before when he was in Brooklyn before Kyrie came back, he threw all his teammates under the bus. He had Seth Curry, all them dudes on the team. He was like, "Yo, everybody, look at my team, and the only reason why they think we can win is because of me. Because look at the other guys on our roster, man. Hell no, bro. So no.
You remember who had just beat their ass when he said that? Who kicked that out of him? Yeah, he said that in Sacramento.
For the sake of being consistent, because I'm all about consistency. If I can sit here and say because I don't think Scottie Pippen's mentally tough enough to win a championship, then yeah, because I don't think Kevin Durant's mental. Yeah, I take it back. Yeah,
but I know Fluent's coming behind. I know where Fluent's coming from.
We appreciate that consistency, Damo.
Yeah, I gotta be consistent, bro.
All right, y'all. Let's keep it pushing. Mars, I want to hear from you. Does Kevin Durant, whichever Kevin Durant you want, Golden State Kevin Durant? You probably want Golden State Kevin Durant. Does he lead them to a finals?
I think it goes. I think Boston is where the hiccup is. I think they make the conference finals, but I don't know if they can beat Boston because maybe with different coaching, maybe Joe Mazzulla doesn't implement the game plan that Ime Udoka did. Maybe, I don't know. But from what I've seen, that type of length and ability to get up under KD and force him to put the ball on the ground where he struggles, I don't think they would beat Boston. But I do think they would make the conference finals. So
the question, Mars, you saw the team that he had when he got swept by Boston.
Yeah,
would
but
he
Steve Nash was
take
coaching
to the
that
finals
team,
is the question, Mars.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Fluent?
I could pick any KD.
Any KD, high school KD,
Pick any KD, but
Texas Longhorn KD.
That's ridiculous.
No, he's not.
That is true, Floyd. Tell it.
Things we just said. They need a leader. He's not a leader. They need a playmaker. He's not a playmaker. They need, listen, his defense is underrated, but they need a defender. He's not a defender. Like all of the things that they need, he doesn't possess. So unless you're expecting Kyle Lowry to step up and be the leader, Bam, or I don't know, somebody else to be the second. No, I guess not Bam. He's the best defender. Somebody else to be a great defender and step up and help him. Do they even make it to Boston? Maybe. Do they beat Boston? No.
They make it to Boston.
They probably make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, but that's about it.
No,
not diminished. Like I said about Pippen, I'm not.
Budenholzer playing drop coverage on KD. They 100% make it to Milwaukee.
I don't know if they beat
Mars, there's no way he doing that, Mars. Don't tell me that.
In 2021, he played KD in single coverage. So I don't know what Budenholzer be doing.
Oh my god!
Yeah, they get past Milwaukee, and then obviously the second round is a bye. So
Mars's logic is so good because whatever player you put in there,
if they beat Milwaukee, they make it to the conference finals.
Right.
Like, that's my logic. So if they can beat Milwaukee, they're going to be in the conference finals. So it's about just beating Boston at that point because the second round is a bye. They get bye regardless. But Milwaukee's a bit tough, and then the conference finals is where it gets really tricky. So there's that.
I'm with that. So no. The answer is no.
Ox.
I've answered a bunch of times. So no.
Okay. All right. Last but not least, chill.
Prime KD, Oklahoma City KD. I think he could get them at minimum to the conference finals, considering the bucket getter that he was, considering the playmaker that he was.
He said the NBA finals, man. Cut it out, man.
Everyone's beating around the bush. Conference finals. The question is the finals.
I don't think any of us would bet on them to beat Boston.
Okay.
I wouldn't. Here we go. I'm capping again. So to answer your question, Ron, I thought that Boston was the best team at the Milwaukee bounce. So no, I don't. I don't think he can even prime KD. I don't think he can get past Boston. No.
All right.
Hey, look. Hey, Ron, perfect example, case in point. Game 7 in OKC. What happened in Game 7 when they got walked back down by what you call it? Did they close it? They was at home, right? They were at home, right?
No,
they was on the road.
They was in Golden State. They was on the road.
Oh, well, Jimmy went on the road and won it. KD didn't. So case closed.
All right, fellas. And last but definitely not least, Damo, I'm starting with you.
Don't do it, Ron. Don't do this. Ron, I'm not even saying that this whole segment. You say that name. If you say that name, Ron, I swear to God, bro. Ron, do not say that name, Ron.
Hold on. Wait.
Say it, Ron.
Don't do that, Ron.
I don't know it. Hold on.
Do it, Ron.
I don't know what name. I don't know what name that you think
say
I'm
it,
saying.
Ron.
But you better not say that name, Ron.
After this segment, if I don't say the name, I need you to tell me what name you thought I was
going to be nasty, trying to be nasty, bro.
But we've talked about this dude a lot throughout certain debates and whatnot related to this whole thing.
Yeah.
Simply because he happened to play for the Miami Heat. And I'm going with Dwayne Wade.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got a curveball for y'all. Does Dwayne Wade lead this team to an NBA championship?
No. D-Wade can lead better teams to the championship. No. D-Wade, even when he went to the finals, Even when D Wade went to the finals and won the chip before LeBron came, he had Shaq, Antoine Walker. He had all those dudes on the team. I think was on the team. Lonzo Mourning was on the team. All those dudes on the team. They had a loaded team. They still had a lot of good vets on that team. They had a loaded team full of good vets who were, you know what I'm saying, who experienced season and all that other stuff. So outside of that, the only other times he went to the finals was with Super Team. These is fact. All those other years, he was getting beat up in
05 when they lost in the conference finals, but it's just fact. Whatever.
Hell no, man. Bro, look at all the other years he played for Miami in the league. What did he do?
I think all.
I want you to answer that question though. Dom, all the other years, Dom, what did he do in Miami? Let's be honest now. What did he do? Was he going to the conference finals? What did he do?
He got hurt in the conference finals in 05, missed game 7, and they lost.
None of that matters.
No, I'm saying I'm talking about without LeBron. I'm talking about without LeBron, without Shaq.
Oh, without Shaq. How many
without
years
LeBron and without the year they had Shaq. I'm talking about what did D Wade do? Because we talking about Jimmy Butler with the team he had. Bro, come on, man. Y'all better not.
4 years though, Ticket. You sound wild as hell right now, Ticket. For 4 years. We ain't talking about him just jumping on this crew. We talking about Dwayne Wade on a crew with the Miami Heat with this team for 4 years in his prime. 4 prime years with this crew, them building this unit around him. You're telling me that prime Dwayne Wade, 08-09 Dwayne Wade, 09-10 Dwayne Wade, who is the same, who is basically what Jimmy Butler is doing, who's in his prime. You telling me that this Dwayne Wade, who's a prime Dwayne Wade, couldn't take this crew deep into the playoffs and possibly to the NBA championship the way that they're playing, the way that Dwayne Wade was the defender he was, because he's a better defender than Jimmy Butler, the way that Dwayne Wade was a playmaker. Awesome. Not only was Dwayne Wade a playmaker, the scorer that he was, all of these things, you're telling me that he couldn't possibly take this team, being with them for 4 years, back to the NBA Finals.
No, because because Jimmy took him his first year. Jimmy's first year, he took them dudes to the finals, and then with the 3 conference finals, they went back to the NBA Finals. Jimmy don't been in 2 finals in 4 years. You really think D Wade?
What was Bam and Gordon doing on this team? You act like Bam and Gordon was just watching.
Bam was a
hold on. Since Bobby, hold on.
He was an 18 and 10 guy. That's what we had running with.
Since Bobby want to come out the back like Bobby last year, like I'm gonna cook his ass too.
You ain't cooking nobody. So let's stop talking like Dwayne.
No.
Let's stop talking like Jimmy Butler was just playing with a bunch of okay players. He was playing with some good players. He was playing with some damn good players. But he's an all-league defender and an 18 and 10 guy in Bam Adebayo. That's number one.
What happened to Bam in the playoffs? What happened to Bam in the playoffs?
In 2020?
In 2020? Are you serious?
I'm saying, hold on. For the last 3 to 4 years, what have happened to Bam?
You brought up in the first year in 2020. You brought up the first year in 2020.
No, I said he went to the finals in the first year.
That's right. Exactly. And this is the team that we're talking about. So that first year, we're talking about a Bam Adebayo who was an all-league defender, who averaged almost 20 and 10 in the playoffs that year, who was fantastic. We're talking about Goran Dragic, who got hurt in the NBA Finals, but up until that point, he was also playing fantastic. So what you're going to do is you're going to take Jimmy. Yes, he did. So you're going to take Jimmy Butler off that crew, and you're going to put a better player and just as good a fit in Dwayne Wade on that crew, because it's not like he's a long ball shooter. It's not like he's bombing away. He's basically doing the same thing that Jimmy Butler's doing, except better.
Bam would have been conference finals MVP in 2020, just so everyone knows. If that would exist.
Y'all hate Jimmy that much, man.
Ain't nobody hating Jimmy.
Saying D Wade would do the same thing in Jimmy's situation is not hating Jimmy.
Man, y'all out y'all damn mind, man.
Not only are we not hating on Jimmy Butler,
right?
Well, not only that, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about Dwayne Wade. It ain't like we throwing some random dude out. We're talking about Dwayne Wade. Y'all crazy. Y'all hating on Jimmy Butler. Ticket, that is unrealistic. Who are we talking about here? We're talking about a top 3. We're talking about a top 3 player at his position in the history of his career, in the history of the league. That's what we're talking about. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Dom. Keep going. I apologize if I interrupted you.
No, you're good. I'm glad you got it off because you said the same thing I would have said. I'm gonna just keep it short and simple because this is such a meaningless argument. Dwayne Wade for this team would do everything Jimmy's doing and more. And more. He would do more of it. he would produce more than what Jimmy's doing on this team.
If he's lying, Ticket, prove he's lying.
So you remember? I'm not done. Wait. And for the crowd of people that are just saying, "Oh my God, Jimmy Butler shoots better than Dwayne Wade," let's play some basketball. Go look at what Dwayne Wade does in the playoffs when it comes to shooting threes. He's a lot more efficient than you guys are thinking. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to take nothing away from Jimmy Butler, but for this exact Heat team, what they do and how they need their star player to play. Dwayne Wade feels every check on the box. He feels everything. There's nothing that Jimmy Butler is doing that Dwayne Wade can't do on this team. Take it, I get you want to bring up his past. This year he didn't make it. That year he didn't make it. None of that matters in the context of this conversation, which is this Miami Heat team with a prime Dwayne Wade. What do? Exactly this. Maybe they might close Boston out in 5 or 6 games with Dwayne Wade. What?
A prime D Wade after Shaq was done, a prime D Wade all those years up until LeBron came, he was getting his ass kicked in the first round and not making the playoffs.
He didn't have the consistency that Jimmy Butler's had over the last 4 years.
Time out. They had the same players. Time out. Hold on. You capping there. I got it right here. The same player. He had the same players on that roster where they got swept in the first round and after Shaq left in 06-07 they got swept. Guess who they still had on the team? Udonis Haslem, Jay Williams was still on the team. Eddie Jones was on that team. Shaq was on that team.
Okay, Eddie Jones was not.
Shaq was on that team. They got swept. James Posey was on that team. They got swept.
In 07, they got swept. That was the year after.
In the first round. Hold on.
They won the NBA championship.
The year after that, hold on.
But keep going.
The year after that, hold on. The year after that, he played 51 games the year after that. So I'll take that away from him because he played 51 games, right? So he had injuries. He was breaking down, right? So he played 51 games. The year after that, he comes back. Hold on.
I want to make sure I'm following you.
They lose in the first. They lose in the first.
Yes.
They lose in the first. Hold on. They lose in the
08-09. Is that what we're
lose in the first round? They still had look, and on that team they had D Wade, Sean Marion, UD, Mario Chalmers, Jermaine O'Neal.
None of them dudes was on the crew when he was winning. None of them dudes.
Hold on. UD was on the team. What you call was on the team? Hold on.
I'm pretty sure Sean Marion got traded that season. I'm pretty sure, but I could.
You said what?
He did. He got traded from Toronto.
I'm pretty sure Sean Marion wasn't even on the team in the playoffs.
Yes,
hold on. Sean Marion, hold on.
Disingenuous. All of this is the reason why this is all disingenuous.
Team you're talking about right now?
No, this isn't the super team that we ain't yet. So all of this is disingenuous, and the reason why.
No, I ain't saying it. No, I'm saying that team.
What I'm saying is, in the bubble, Gabe Vincent was on that crew. Bam was on that crew. Max Strus was on that crew.
What did Gabe Vincent do?
Tyler Hero. I'm not done. Tyler Hero was on that crew. Jimmy Butler was on that crew. The next year, Gabe Vincent was on that crew. Jimmy Butler was on that crew. Bam was on that crew. Max Strus was on that crew. Tyler Hero was on that crew. Last year, Gabe Vincent was on that crew. Tyler Hero was on that crew. Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, Bam. This year, Bam, Jimmy Butler, Gabe Vincent, Duncan Robinson. All of these guys were on that crew. You can't sit there and tell me that 6 guys that were on the crew with Dwayne Wade in 2006 when they won the NBA championship were on the crew when they lost in 2010.
Now watch me cook this buffoon 3 the hard way. First of all, sucker, you named 4 dudes that didn't even play. Gabe Vincent. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me put some Pippen in it. Hold on. Gabe Vincent didn't play. Bench warmer. What you call it? Living the Vida Loca. Martin didn't play. Bench warmer. In fact, he clocked. Hold on. In fact, he clocked 0 minutes last year playing. So again, not playing. Also, again, all these years we talking about Tyler Hero in the playoffs, unavailable most of the time because he always gets hurt.
Most of the time, unavailable. On the crew.
Hold on, stop playing. Then you want to talk about Kyle Lowry? Oh,
washed up. Don't give me that. I didn't say nothing about Kyle Lowry.
Okay, let's keep going. But he's been on the team. He's been on the team. Okay, so look. Okay, so hold on. Right. Hold on. No, last 2 years he's been on the team. And then let's talk about this. Let's talk about Goran Dragic. He only was there 1 year. He was washed up done. Right. So check him out.
And I didn't say him. Keep going.
Hold on. And let's go to the last. Hold on. Let's go to your last but not least. Bam Adebayo. What has he done? Hold on. What has he done He's fell off every single year in the playoffs since that first year. Hold on. Bam was averaging 20 and 10 in the regular season. In the playoffs, his averages went down to 14 some years in the playoffs. Some years he's went down to 16 in the playoffs. His average is shot down and not went up. And his percentages. So you ain't even just looking at his averages. You're looking at his percentages too. Matter of fact, the last game they just played, this fool shot like 20% from the field and they still won. Cut it out. The only two people that was balling was Jimmy and Martin. So cut it out. So all these.
I'm glad
because ain't nobody else have over 10 points. And hold on, one last thing, Chilltown. One last thing. Because I'm gonna finish you off real quick. You done right here. This is it for you. This is it for you. So the last 3 years in the NBA season, Bam has averaged nearly 20 and 10. In the postseason, the last 3 years he averaged 15.5, which went down tremendously. 14.8 went down tremendously. 16.8 went down tremendously. And check this out, Grilltown. Also, not only that, his field goal percentages went down from the regular season too.
Now with all of that stuff that you just said, which the numbers are what they are. With all of that being said, take Bam off that crew the last 4 years. Where they going?
I mean, I'm with you on that.
I think we're done here, Ron. Keep going.
No, we're not done. Hold on, we're not done. Take Shaq off them teams. What D-Wade doing? Take Shaq off them teams. What D-Wade doing? Getting whipped in the first round again?
I'm sorry. You mean Dwayne Wade, who finished second in the league? Third in the league in MVP votes and was an all-league defender.
You the same dude said D-Wade wasn't the best player even when LeBron came.
We're putting Dwayne Wade on a crew and we have stability for 4 years. He's doing the same thing, except better than what Jimmy Butler is doing.
He's not. Jimmy Butler went to the finals his first year. Stop lying.
And just so you know, after D Wade won the chip and you brought up him getting swept, after Jimmy Butler made the finals, he got swept the next year in the first round. Just like Dean Wade.
Look. Read what Dub said. Hey, shout out to my boy Dub for coming through rocking like a cutoff stocking. Look what he said. No cap, Ticket is right. Hero hasn't played this year in the postseason. Vincent didn't play in the bubble, and neither did Martin.
Were they on the crew? Yes or no? Since we're on that subject, were they on the crew? Yes or no?
Are we talking about big warmers now? Fluent. Get your boy, Fluent. We're talking about big warmers, Fluent.
Are we developing camaraderie? Are we developing consistency? Are we developing this stuff? Had these dudes for 4 years. We're done here. We're done.
Get your boy, Fluent. Get your boy, Fluent. Come here with some food, Fluent.
So the guys
we gotta move on. Go ahead, Bob. And I want to hear from everybody that hasn't talked yet.
So the guys that Dub brought up in the run that Dub's talking about, that was they were playing incredibly. Those runs are what got Duncan Robinson paid. Like you act like these guys, like Jimmy was carrying Bam, Jimmy was carrying Duncan, Jimmy was carrying Goran Dragic. All three of those dudes showed up. The reason that they lost to the Lakers was because Goran and Bam were hurt. Now, I mean, maybe the Lakers still might have won. I don't know. Let me not say the reason they lost, but the reason they didn't really have a chance was because Goran and Bam got hurt. So to say that those guys weren't doing nothing, like I'm not really feeling that, bro. I think Jimmy had more than a adequate squad.
I think you guys are comparing the wrong thing. The question is, if D Wade is on this squad, do they make it to the finals?
Well, D Wade is much better. So yes.
And if you compare what D Wade would bring to the table, which is just as good, if not better, defense. Don't forget second best. There's no best shot blocking shooting guard ever. So he's going to bring you the defense. Don't bring up his 3-point shooting, because when he shoots more than 2 a game in the playoffs, he shoots over 36%. The 2 years where he shot over 3 a game, it was 7.4 and 7.3. He shot like 40 and 38%. So he's very capable of shooting threes in the playoffs at a very high clip. He's obviously just as good of a scorer as Jimmy Butler is. Getting to the basket, obviously. Can he do what Jimmy Butler did this playoffs, which is get into the lane and kick it out to those shooters? Absolutely he can. So there's no reason to think. And is he tough? Absolutely. Is he a leader? 100%. He led that team, even with Shaq, to a final. So yeah, I think D Wade on this team brings a lot of the same things, and some things a little bit better than what Jimmy brings. So
I hate you, bro. I freaking hate you, bro. I hate you, bro. I hate you, bro. I hate you, man. Hey, bro, bring Dub up here, bro. Bring somebody with some goddamn common sense up here, man. Bring Dub up here to cook this man right now, bro. He always gonna take kill back. I already know y'all got y'all little connection, and that's cool. But see, what y'all ain't gonna do is lie. again, ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Butler, first year. Dale, I know you got my back, Dale. His first year, he took a team to the NBA Finals. D-Wade didn't do that. And then he's been in the finals.
Hold up, Dale. Hold up, Dale. Because I'm about to ask you all these questions, and I need you to answer all four of these players. But who hasn't answered this question yet?
What's up, family?
Mars, you still need to answer, and Damo?
I think they do it. I think they can make the finals.
Damo?
Wait, with D-Wade?
Yeah. Oh, Damo said yes already. Has everybody answered?
Wait, would they make the finals with D-Wade this year?
Hold up, Dale. Hold on, Dale. Wait. Because I got four people that I need to ask you. I'm asking you from the top.
No. Ask him that first, Ron.
No, hold on.
Ask him why the crowd is hot. Ask him right now.
All right. Ticket. Okay. Delroy.
Dale, tell the truth, Dale. Dale, if you lie, I'm flying wherever you at. I don't care. I will tell for all my business. Dale, tell the truth.
Yo, all right, Delroy. The Miami Heat, as currently constructed, if you trade out Dwayne Wade, or if you trade out Jimmy,
Dale, my knee. Stand on it, Dale. Stand on business, Dale. Stand on business.
And why not?
Honestly, Wade is not the leader, or he's not Jimmy Butler in that regard. I don't
thank you, Dale. Stand on business with these crowds.
I don't. Yo, Wade. I love D Wade. Wade is better than Butler. He's better than Butler. But what every team Wade's been on, it wasn't none of these players. 06, he had Shaq, who was the second leader for MVP that year. If we just go
the year before, he was the second in MVP, not 06. But
the first year with Miami, he was second.
05, 06, he wasn't. That's what I'm saying.
No, I don't think. Could you check that?
I know I'm correct.
That is correct.
05, he was second in MVP. They lost in the conference finals. 06 was the second year of Shaq. They won the championship, but
he still has Shaq. They wasn't winning that chip without Shaq.
I agree.
Then I don't know what happened after that. Just debacles probably. Then Braun gets there, and then that happens. Braun leaves. He's bouncing around. He's not taking this Miami Heat team to the playoffs. I meant to the finals. He's not doing it. He's not.
All right, Dale. I got 3 more players for you.
He's not.
And I need you guys to let him get this off. 3 players. Starting from the top. Charles Barkley.
Is Charles Barkley doing what?
Nah,
leading his team to the finals.
Ew.
Okay. Tracy McGrady.
Ew. Tracy McGrady had a yow and didn't do it.
Okay. And then last but certainly not least, Dale, is Kevin Durant leading this team to the NBA Finals. Any KD you want.
He's not either. He's not.
You missed one.
But all of them players you name is better than Jimmy Butler to me, though.
Yeah, we all said that. It's about would they lead this team, though? Yeah.
Like with Miami, honestly, everything has to go perfectly. It's a culture thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not who the player is, it's who the person is. And
he missed one, Dell. Scottie Pippen.
They're not even making the playoffs.
Thank you, Dale. Preach, Dale. Hey, Ron, get us through the tie in a pulpit. He having a sermon right now. Preach. These dudes is capping. It is a culture thing. We ain't saying the talent. We saying that you put him in that situation. Hell no.
All of that. And D-Wade has it too, but I swear Butler is more Miami culture than D-Wade is.
What?
He is. I'm
just thank you. All these dudes been capping for all this time. Hell, I'm glad somebody come on here, Ron, and set the record straight on PC. Hell, you are the new heavyweight champion of the world, son.
You said something yesterday, and now that I'm listening to Dell, I'm listening to Ticket, it's starting to seep into me a little bit more. Jimmy Butler might be a fake tough guy, yo. He might be.
You, man.
He might be.
It's not about
he might be a fake tough guy. That's what I'm not saying that he is. I'm not saying that he is, but there's some merit to there's some merit to this. I'm not saying that he's not. I'm not saying that he's not a tough guy.
When I say he's more Heat culture than
because when I think about the Miami Heat and I think about their culture, Dwayne Wade is everything that the Miami that embodies the Miami Heat.
Dwayne Wade and Jimmy Butler did not take that to the next level. The Chilltown Influence show will come to an end after this question right here. Now watch this, Dale. Now, Dale, all these dudes have set up here, right? Now they just told you that D-Wade could do that and more, right? So ask them right now, Dale. Ask them right now. Would D Wade beat this Nuggets team in the finals?
Here we go. See. Hold on.
We talk about it right now. So with D Wade in the same situation, would he win this championship?
Well, how you know? Well, first of all, that's not a question that could be answered. You know why?
No. Because you just said you picked. Hold on. You just said you picked
something else.
You just picked the Nuggets to beat. Hold on. You picked the Nuggets to beat Jimmy. So would they? Hold on. But would they beat D Wade too? Would they beat D Wade too? Fluent. Answer the question.
I didn't pick the Nuggets to beat Jimmy. So you lied.
Oh, that's right. My bad. Chilltown. Would they beat D Wade too?
With Dwayne Wade, I still think that the Nuggets could.
If Jimmy win, you're done, son.
Wait, if Jimmy wins, how am I done? Because I thought that they would
because
beat
he did something you didn't think D Wade could do.
Does that mean I'm done? Are you serious right now? That's what we doing? Give me a break, Ticket.
Bob, you're muted.
You and Dale got that connection right now. Wait till Dale hears what you said about the next guy.
Oh, is another person? Who?
Oh, you nasty, Ron. You nasty, Ron. That's why Ron wanted to. Ron, you nasty, Ron. Ron is nasty. Go ahead and say his name, Ron.
What's the next one?
Y'all want me to say him so bad.
Say it. Dale's just gonna say no, and it's gonna be an anticlimax, but it's fine.
Go ahead.
Are you guys talking about guys I've already named, or tickets you want me to bring up the guy that you want me to bring up?
We went through.
Go ahead and ask Dale. They're gonna ask you about KD, and they're gonna ask you if KD.
I already asked him. Dale said
that already.
What you say?
I didn't hear that part. My bad.
What you say, Dale?
I said no. KD wouldn't do it either.
Right, Dale. Right. Yeah, Dale. Right with Dale, baby. The legend
in the house
of losing.
What are y'all talking about, man?
These fools up here trying to say D Wade can do the same thing that Jimmy's doing right now with this team.
Hold up, Lo, because I'm about to add you to the gauntlet now.
Not the same thing, Tiki. He could do more.
Stop that.
I just said I think they make the finals.
I have 5 players for you, and I need
you run them out real quick, Ron.
I need you to let me know if you trade them with Jimmy Butler, do they lead this team to the NBA?
All right, I'll answer real quick for you.
Is that the baby?
First and foremost, Tracy McGrady.
No.
Secondly, Scottie Pippen.
No.
Facts.
Third, Charles Barkley.
No.
Facts.
Fourth, Kevin Durant. In his prime.
Probably not. He's not the playmaker he needs to be for this team.
Facts.
Fifth, Dwayne Wade.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I hate you, D. I was riding with you all the way to the last one, Lo.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
That's a win, Lo.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, Lo, watch this.
Legend of winning.
Ticket. Why wouldn't Dwayne Wade make it to the finals with this team?
Oh, because, bro, it's just like Dale said, bro. It's a different vibe that Jimmy got with these guys, bro. You haven't seen Wade ever do that. No, listen. I'm telling the truth, bro.
Let me ask you a question.
Yo, hold on. Explain it to him, Dale.
What great playoff run has Wade had? I'm just asking you, other than with his talent. That's all I'm asking.
That's the wrong.
That's what I'm asking. I'm just asking.
So without Shaq and without LeBron,
what did he do with Shaq left?
So the question is, in the 2 years in between Shaq and LeBron, what did he do? That's the question. He lost to Atlanta and he lost to Boston.
LeBron left in 2015.
And what about the years after LeBron left?
Beyond his prime, then at that point,
if you want to bring up beyond his prime, that's fine.
Yo, how old is Jimmy Butler?
34. 33 by the turn 34.
How old was?
Can we stop using age? Can we stop using age as prime?
Dale, you're much more intelligent than that. Dale, you're much more intelligent than that. But you're much more intelligent than that, though.
That's just a disingenuous question.
Is this Jimmy Butler's prime?
Yes, Jimmy Butler.
I don't. He's gonna tell
you
him.
You can say Jimmy Butler hit his prime later than Dwayne Wade did, and that's perfectly fine. Prime isn't just a distinct age for everyone. This is your prime, no matter who you are. D Wade's prime came earlier. Jimmy's prime came later.
Tracy McGrady was old. Tracy McGrady at 32.
So using the age argument is disingenuous because not everyone hits their prime at the same age.
All of us know that he has degenerate.
I don't think Butler's in his prime. I just think.
And I wouldn't argue if you said
how he plays basketball.
Yeah, but you but you also know he had very severe knee injuries. I mean, come on, like that's a very you're more intelligent than that.
What we're doing now, we're taking prime D Wade and putting him on this team.
That was the question.
Oh, is that what we're talking about? I didn't think that we were talking about non-prime D Wade.
Yeah, I didn't. If you want to bring up,
and we also low. This is what you did. You also.
So when is prime Jimmy Butler?
Jimmy just been wild.
Hey, Jimmy been in his prime since his fourth year. Jimmy fourth year, he was an all-star. His fourth year, he was an all-star. He been in his prime since his fourth year. Hold on. But let me say why though. Chill. His fourth year. This is his numbers from his fourth year. 20.9, 23.9, 22.2, 21.3. 19.9, 21.5, 21.4, and 22.9 this year. Right. That's every single year from his fourth year in Chicago. That's consistent with his prime.
I don't think
D-Wade didn't have Shaq, Braun, and all this stuff.
In fact, that right there gets Jimmy Butler in the Hall of Fame right there. That right there, that 10-year stretch gets him in the Hall of Fame.
Right there. What did Miami do in 08?
08, they missed the playoffs and
he was hurt though.
D-Wade was hurt. So 09 they lost to Atlanta in 7 games, I believe.
Yeah.
In what round? In the first
round. And who was on that team?
Michael Beasley was on that team.
Mario Chalmers was on that team.
Udonis Haslem was on that team.
Jermaine O'Neal was on that
team. James Jones, Haslem.
Yeah, he's reason.
Okay. Now, with that also being said, the next year, Jermaine O'Neal gone. Sean Marion gone.
Yeah, because they got LeBron,
right?
No. 2011 they got LeBron. 2011, 2010 they lost to Boston in round 1.
And the point that I was going to make to you, Lo, is what was left out of the conversation before you showed up was the fact that Jimmy Butler, this crew he's on, he's been on this crew for 4 years with these guys.
Oh yeah, I hated that take.
That's
but not only that, Bam Adebayo is better than any of these players that he's playing with. Not only that.
Time out, Lo. Bam is okay.
Bam is better than he played with anybody.
Tell the truth, Dale. Do not hold back, Dale. Tell the truth, bro.
Bam is better than Jermaine O'Neal. Bam is better than Sean Marion. Bam is better than Udonis Haslem. Bam is better than Michael Beasley. Bam is better than Udonis Haslem. Bam is better than
why is that difficult?
Bam is better than Mario Chalmers. Bam is better than Michael B. He's better than all of these dudes. What are we talking about here?
Prime Bam is better than prime Jermaine O'Neal.
Well, that wasn't prime Jermaine O'Neal.
Prime though. That's not his prime.
Okay, so this is where I'm confused. This is where I'm confused now. Yeah, how are y'all picking and choosing? When are we using these guys?
No. I'm looking at D-Wade's team in 09, based on how everyone was at that time. Bam Adebayo today is better than everyone who was on that 09 Heat team. That's what is being said.
This is the same Bam that everybody in that chat is talking about, right?
He's still better.
The chat ain't got nothing to do with me. The chat ain't got nothing to do with me.
Expose him, dude. Dale, expose how these dudes talk about that.
And he's still better.
Yo. It's 5 of y'all yelling at the same time.
The chat's opinion of Bam has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
No, we talking about what y'all stay in the chat. Y'all call this dude a bum or a scrub.
Who's you?
I ain't never done better. But he's still better than these players. The other problem that y'all are having, this is why this conversation is really low level IQ. There's no way that D Wade or Jimmy would be able to get to the finals in that Eastern Conference with the Boston Celtics when they were healthy in 2008 or 2010. So what are we saying right now?
This Boston Celtics just went to the finals. We talking about?
Yeah, if you think that this Boston Celtics is as good as the 08 Boston Celtics,
that one was still an older team. Those guys were still. This is a low-level older team. These dudes in their prime. This ain't a low-level IQ.
This is a low-level IQ.
So, let me ask you a question, Lo. Could D-Wade win a championship with this team? Could D-Wade beat the Nuggets with this team in the finals?
If you, like I said, like I was speaking before, you interrupted me. If you think that 08 Boston Celtics team and this Boston Celtics team are on the same level, this is a low-level IQ conference.
Wait, why are you comparing
to the finals, Lo?
Because that's who we lost to.
They lost to the Celtics in 2010, and that's who you would have to get through to get to the finals. So
that was an older Celtics team.
I didn't hear you said what.
I'm saying that the way that you had to get to the finals in the Eastern Conference at that time would be able to get through the Celtics team. So to sit here and to just say, well, he wasn't able to make the finals in 2008, 9, or 10 it's not comparable because the competition at that time is more difficult than what it is right now. What it would take to get to the finals in 2008 and 10 is more difficult than it is now. Maybe 2009, sure, because the Celtics were KG was hurt, but then even beyond that, the way Jimmy D Wade was now on the team to maximize his strengths and weaknesses, the way that this team is right now for Jimmy.
What you heard about and by the way, he did put 50 on them in that play.
No, but he hold on. He said, hold on. He just said, hold on. Bam been, excuse me, not Bam. Jimmy been playing the team who won the championship, Milwaukee, in the playoffs all these years. He been routinely playing them day in, day prime. He been playing the Boston Celtics team that went to the finals in the playoffs.
Before this year, he swept it. They swept Miami out the playoffs.
But hold on.
This season.
The only time Miami played the Bucks when they were fully healthy, they got swept.
I know you got
2020, Giannis got hurt. They lost in 5. This year, Giannis got hurt. They
lost in 5. I want you to answer my question, Lo. Since Low running this chapter, y'all, hold on. We gonna get Low on the record right now.
That's how it
is.
This is the last question, and we got to move on.
So can D Wade with this team beat Jokic and the Nuggets in the finals?
No, but I don't think also Jimmy.
Okay, so time out. So if Jimmy does it, I don't want to hear your Rudy Poo, candy ass mouth no more.
Yo, Low, that is my problem though, because in every series. Other than maybe the Knicks, maybe the Knicks series. 100%. In every series, nobody picked the Miami Heat.
If D Wade was playing, I would have picked him.
Versus
against the Celtics, against this Celtics team, and maybe even against, especially if I knew Giannis was going to. If Giannis was going to, because he's a better player. Because he's a better player. That's why. That's why.
No, listen. You wait. So D Wade is a better player than Giannis?
No, than Butler.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Is he a better player than Giannis?
Probably not. No.
Is he a better player than Tatum?
Yes.
You have him. I don't have him better than Tatum. So
what's the point with this, Dell? Why you?
Wait. Jimmy Butler or Dwayne Wade? What?
I'm taking Tatum over Wade. I'm sorry. I am. That's me.
Okay, I get that point. Right.
What do you mean you get that point? What?
I get that.
What do you mean? There's nothing to get.
The reason why. No, the reason why. Because
if B Smooth said that, we don't be killing him. What's going on?
And we should be to say that you're taking Jason Tatum over Dwayne Wade. You bugging.
Wait, hold on. We could get back.
Wow as hell for that. That's why the reason. That's why I wanted to get back on your point. You brought up he's better than Giannis.
Picked Miami over any of them teams we playing. So to say D Wade could have maximized this, that, y'all didn't think Jimmy Butler could have done that. So don't, because Jimmy's doing it, say because it's way to
that's not why. If you told me that Giannis was going to basically miss three out of the 5 games, I would probably then pick on the which
is way to a great playmaker.
Yes, a better one than Jimmy Butler. Yes.
Well, first of all, hold on, Lo. Let me.
I don't know why Dell does this thing.
No. The thing that I need to understand, Dell, can you tell me what playmaking is?
We must look at it different.
Well, that's why I'm trying to understand. Let's get what is playmaking to you?
Opportunities for the offense, and I think Jimmy Butler does that very well.
Okay, I know he does, but he does it well. He doesn't do it better than D Wade.
So once again, Dell, you said creating opportunities for the offense. Creating opportunities how? What do you mean creating opportunities for the offense?
Hey, real quick, Dell, before you do that, hey, Ron. I got to run, parent teacher conference today. So
shout out to W Dad in the chat, man. Put the W Dads in the chat, man.
W Dad in the chat. Hey, Bob, tell your teachers I'll be there in a little bit. We just got to finish this.
Okay. See,
D Wade clears, by the way.
Clears him. Very good.
Now, that one girl you interviewed in Seattle, the ticket will be showing up in a town near you soon.
Hey, ticket. I got a lot more interviews lined up.
Oh, I seen that girl you was interviewing, Bob. I said, God, dog, this boy Bobby out there, boy.
Okay, now hold on. back to Dell. Dell, I want you to. You said creating opportunities on offense. Creating opportunities how?
Honestly, passing, getting them open, making it easier for them. That's how
those are all things D Wade clearly does better than Jimmy Butler.
I know.
We lost him. He broke up for a second. Say that one more time. You went in and out, Bob.
This is all things D Wade clearly does what?
Better than Jimmy Butler.
I don't think it's clear. I don't think it's he automatically does that better than Butler.
Let's just say Dale. Let's say he doesn't clear him. Does he do these things better than Jimmy Butler?
No. He doesn't have to do better. Does he do them as good?
That's fine. He could do it as good. I still think this team is not taking it to the level because I only seen Wade to all whatever you guys want to say win with the talent that y'all always only blame certain people for.
I know, but also, if we're arguing though that the teams that he was on when he didn't have Shaq in between, really just the 2 years between Shaq and LeBron, if he was on a roster that was not, and I'll be quick, Ron, because I know we're talking about this way too long. If he was not on a team that didn't have the level of 3-point shooting that this team has, he didn't have the same level of defender in the front court like Bam as well, and he was in the Eastern Conference that had just better teams as well. Why are we covering?
Dale, stay right there. Dale.
You're comparing the wrong things.
You lied.
That player put him on this team.
You in low live, Floyd. You in low live about something I got, dog.
I know, Fluent, but he's holding Wade to the lack of success that he had in between.
But even that's
low.
His skill set and
it's an 8 seed that's doing this.
This is an 8
seed. This is an 8 seed.
Yeah, I get that. I don't even think there would be 8 seed if D-Wade was on the roster. They wouldn't even been an 8 seed.
You guys lied and you guys said that D-Wade was a way better defender than Jimmy Butler. Well, why has D-Wade played 16 years? Hold on.
I think Chilltown said that. No one.
I did not say that.
Floyd definitely said it.
He said one of the best shot blocking guards. That's what
I never said that. They never left my.
Y'all didn't say D-Wade was a better defender than Jimmy.
Chilltown said that.
I think he's a better defender than Jimmy Butler. Yes, I did say that.
How is he a better defender than Jimmy? And in 16 years, he only made 3 all-defensive teams, but in less time, Jimmy's made 5.
I'm glad you bought in 1 year.
That's a great question.
But I didn't say that. Let me be clear. I never said that. But
fellas, I hate to have to step in and hijack this conversation, but we do got to move on because in case you guys forgot, in the midst of this whole Jimmy Butler, Dwayne Wade, T-Mac, Scottie Pippen debate, today's game, one of the NBA Finals.
Draymond's better defender than Ben Wallace by that logic. But go ahead, go.
Yeah, you don't believe that, Low.
You're right. I don't believe that logic. You're right. That's why it was a dumb argument to use.
Before we get into the NBA Finals and give you guys a preview and our predictions and whatnot, I do want to say that this show is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. If you look up there in the chat right there, there's a link. You can click that link. It will take you to the website or it will take you to the app. Make sure you use the promo code The Panel. Why use the promo code? Because today we're giving away $400 to anybody that sends a screenshot of their account to the Player's Choice Instagram. You have till 5 p.m. Eastern time to do that. I'm trying to give this money away. Y'all about to make me go. Y'all about to make me just blow it or give it to Dale. But I'm giving you this opportunity.
You still owe me
let me ask you a question before we pick, Ron.
What's up?
Did anyone here? Did y'all name y'all 15 better than Jaylen Brown or 20?
I sent a message to the group and you laughed, and I still want to know what names.
Yeah, I couldn't ride with you on that deal. You got right.
There's no way you think Anthony Edwards is better than Jaylen Brown.
I wholeheartedly believe that. But even if I don't, there was still 20, there was still clearly 15 names.
I think it's actually laughable.
No, Del, because even if you disagree with Anthony Edwards, there was still more than 15 names. So you have to disagree with
3 or 4 on that list. I was like,
And I gave you like 21 names.
We messed up the average. Go ahead, go Ron.
Do y'all want to name these players?
Miami Heat or the Underdog?
You done, Ron?
All right, no, I'm not. I'm saying, do you guys want to do that?
Oh no, we already have the names.
All right, cool. Hold on. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. All I'm saying is, chat.
I'm gonna pause.
I'm about to. You know what's about to happen, chat. I'm gonna give you guys a player. You guys tell me higher or lower. I'm starting with them polls right now. Y'all stay tuned to that. Now,
there's 20 on that list. I got that list.
Let's hold on. I'm not aware of what's going on right now. I wasn't in the group chat yesterday. Can somebody briefly explain to me in the chat what's going on?
Del said we was disrespecting Jaylen Brown and that he's like a top 15 player in the NBA.
That's laughable.
And then he asked for lists from multiple people of names better than Jaylen Brown. I think someone sent a list. I think Dub may have sent a list. I sent a list. And then he laughed at the list. I asked him what he laughed about, and then he hasn't told me. But I'm still waiting.
This is my problem with some of you guys' lists. Y'all predicate Jaylen Brown based on his playoff performance. Say, oh, he didn't perform this.
I've been saying this for a year, though.
Oh, okay,
you was on the show with me when I was saying this. But
time out. They've been saying is 3 or 4 people on that list. Oh yeah, playoff this, and they're naming people that didn't even make the playoffs. That makes no sense to me.
These are, you know, what's so crazy. I think Jaylen Brown another player that we vividly told Dell he struggles with going left, and then he was like, "No, I just don't see that." And then come to find out, the Miami Heat was defending him in a way in which they wanted him to go left because he kept turning the ball over. Is that not?
Golden State did it last year too,
and Golden State did it as well, correct?
I honestly don't remember that conversation, but okay.
I've been saying this about Jaylen Brown. I've been saying this about Jaylen Brown for over a year.
Only thing
and everyone who's been
was
watching the show
was saying Jaylen Brown was better than Jason Tatum. Now I used to laugh at him at that one. That's it. But for y'all to sit here and name Brandon Ingram is not better than Jaylen Brown.
We don't even have to get that low.
Can we hear the list? Can we hear the list?
I got top to bottom.
Go ahead, Fluid. Go ahead, go.
I have it right here. I'm going off Dub's list. I don't know if that's okay. Is that okay?
No, Jesus.
Was it multiple lists?
Oh my God, no. Oh my, absolutely not.
He put it in a better format. All right, you got Giannis, KD,
yep,
Jokic,
yep,
Steph,
yep,
Braun, Jimmy Butler, Jason Tatum,
yep,
Anthony Davis, Dame, Ja, no particular order, Ja, Harden, Shea.
Who said after Ja?
He said Harden.
James Harden. I don't know if I love that.
Yeah, that's why I shook my head
Harden,
on that
but I
one.
don't think James is better than Jaylen Brown right now. I don't.
But keep going. Harden.
I shook my head on that one too. SGA, so Shea.
I don't think Shea's better than Jaylen Brown.
That's laughable. But go ahead.
Okay, I don't think it's laughable. He has one great year. You think he's better? That's
I was saying it a year ago.
Yeah.
So once again, I was saying it a year ago. So
hold on, who was the last one? Tone. Who was the last one?
SGA
and then Trey.
No.
Then Trey.
Hey, Trey Young.
Trey Young.
No. Yeah, Trey Young's led his team to a conference finals before, dog.
And Jaylen Brown been a 4 straight.
This is a healthy Kawhi.
Not 4 straight. 2021 they didn't make it.
A healthy Kawhi.
He didn't play though.
Oh, Kawhi. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was hurt.
Yeah, Devin Booker.
Hey, hold on, Tone. You ain't got to stop there. You put Paul George too.
I'm still going.
Paul George is where we're kind of.
No. PG's better. He's a better defender.
I'm at
offensive player. Don't do that,
Devin Booker. I'm at Devin Booker right
offensive player.
Are we at 15?
I'm at Devin Booker right now.
Devin Booker. Hey, y'all ain't say Joel Embiid.
I might say because you didn't say Embiid.
Joel Embiid.
Oh, go.
You're 15. You're 15.
Yes, we're at 15.
Jamal Murray. 15. I don't agree with 4.
No.
Hold on. Darren Fox.
No.
Did y'all say Jokic?
No.
You said Jokic.
Yeah, he said
Jokic. Donovan Mitchell.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Yes.
Joel Embiid.
Yes.
Luka Doncic.
Yep.
Okay.
So that would be 15. If you say you disagree with 4,
hey, time out. I got one more. Jaylen Brunson.
No, but no. What I'm saying, if we were already at 15, and you said you disagree with 4, he didn't said 4 more names that you agreed with.
No, right. You said Fox in them names though. Fox
you agree with Embiid? You agree with Embiid? You agree with D. Mitch? You agree with Luka? And you agree with one more name? I can't remember what it was, but you agree with 4 more names after that.
Dale, can we not agree?
He didn't agree with Fox. Can
we just get your list, Dale? Dale,
we didn't even say Kyrie.
I
didn't even say
Kyrie. Kyrie, Dale. Kyrie.
Yep. Jaylen Brunson.
Okay, so there's your 15.
Jaylen Brunson.
When was your list? Before or after G Baby?
I don't agree with on that list. I don't agree with Trey.
When was your list, Mars?
It was probably later.
Go. I don't remember the whole people he named.
Well, you can still add. Okay. Bro, you can add Jaylen Brunson. You can add Devin Booker.
Jaylen Brunson is not better than him, bro. He's not.
He said Devin Booker. I don't know why Dub's list is out of order. Jokic,
it was out of order.
Jokic, Steph, Giannis, Luka, Embiid. Do you agree with those 5?
I didn't hear you.
Jokic, Steph, Giannis, Luka, Embiid. Do you agree with those 5?
Yes.
KD, Kawhi, LeBron, AD, Butler. Do you agree with those 5?
He doesn't agree with Jimmy Butler.
I don't agree with Butler, and I don't agree with
Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is better than Jaylen Brown. Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Is Kawhi Leonard just because of health?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So let me.
We're at 10 now. So we're at 10 right now, Dell.
But we're at 8 because Dell only agrees with 8.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Like,
10. All right. So Tatum.
These are your outright claims, and that's what pisses me off.
Dame.
Yes.
D. Mitch.
Yes.
D. Book.
Yes.
Kyrie.
That's 15 right there.
I don't agree with.
That's 15, but he doesn't agree with 2, so we're only at 13.
We're at 13.
Do you agree with Kyrie?
Yeah, I do. I
Okay,
think
so you agree with Kyrie. All right, that's
you can still go.
So the two that you don't agree with is Jimmy Butler and Kawhi. And Kawhi is
because of help.
And no, he said Trae Young too. He said
I didn't have to get Trae Young.
He didn't get the Trae.
Oh,
So we have 15 right now.
Is John Morant?
No, he didn't say John Morant neither. So no, we have 15 right now.
I'm trying to get to the names that I know for a fact.
Okay, so that's 15 right there.
But he doesn't agree with 2 of them though.
Which is not because this doesn't make any sense because Jimmy Butler is better than Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, we have to give Dell names that he agrees with to say that.
You can't give me.
Why is Ja better?
We ain't even talking about Ja. Let's take Ja off the table. Let's get on Jimmy Butler. Give me legit logic why Jaylen Brown is better than Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, actually, do that. Yeah,
I'll wait.
And while you think about it, the fact that you had 14 that you agreed with, and the question is he's not top 15, and there's 2 or 3 that everyone's arguing over, I think kind of proves the point. Either way,
is Jaylen Brown better than Dwayne Wade?
It's 8 of us here, correct? I could get 8 people that would say they think Jaylen Brown is. I have to know. They would say Jaylen Brown.
Once again, because I'm on my Mars logic right now. Can we get back to the point? Give me legit logic why Jimmy Butler is not better than Jaylen Brown.
I can't give you logic that say he is.
So give me legit logic why Jaylen Brown is better than Jimmy Butler.
I think Jaylen Brown's a better scorer than him.
That's it.
Why? Why?
I just think he's a better scorer.
No, that's not good enough. It's not just because you say so.
I think he's a better shooter.
Trust me.
From where?
From the basketball court.
Nice. So all the way around.
As a mid-range shooter, in
the mid-range and the long ball.
I think he's a better shooter, better 3-point shooter than Jimmy Butler.
So in the mid, so it shoots the long ball better.
I think he could attack the basket better than Jimmy Butler as well. I think Jimmy Butler has a better mid-range game than him.
So Jimmy Butler got a better mid-range. Jaylen Brown shoots the long ball better.
I think Jaylen Brown's a better finisher than him.
So you think he's a better finisher at the rim? Okay.
But let me ask you, why is he not though? Because
he struggles at finishing through contact, unlike Jimmy Butler does
in the playoffs. This is
a regular season as well. That's one of his biggest.
So you tell me though, I don't know none of these numbers. I'm just watching what I see and how they.
I'm not even.
Can you tell me these numbers?
Dell, we ain't even on the numbers. Dell, we talking basketball. Me and you right now.
Do you think Jaylen Brown? Do you think Jaylen Brown finishes strong through contact?
I think he finishes through contact.
Man, get out of here, man. Dale, I got love for you, bro. I can't ride with you on that, man. You think he's better than Paul George?
Where do he get
better than LeBron? You think he's better?
Huh? And honestly, I don't think LeBron James right now is better than Jaylen Brown either.
Hey, I'm done. Hey, Ron.
Hold on, ticket. Rewind. Now,
I don't think Ron today is better than
now. You just said that Jaylen Brown. You said Jaylen Brown is a better long ball shooter. You think Jimmy Butler shoots better in the mid range. You think that Jaylen Brown finishes at the basket better. So hold on. So as far as an overall scorer, you think Jaylen Brown
is better than Jimmy Butler?
Who's a better playmaker, passionate playmaker?
I'm going Butler.
Who's a better defender?
I honestly, I think it's a wash. Me personally, I think it's a wash.
I'm not gonna lie. You guys bullied B Smooth. I'm just saying. You guys treated B Smooth.
Here's the last question, Lo. Hey, Lo. Here's the last question. Could Jaylen Brown do what Jimmy just did right now with the same thing?
I just said Kevin Durant couldn't do it. Hell no, Jaylen Brown couldn't do it.
So how's he better than Jimmy Butler then?
But Kevin Durant is better than Jimmy Butler, and he can't do it. All them players we named were better than Jimmy Butler, and they couldn't do it as well. I think that indication is not for this argument at all. You know that.
Is Jaylen Brown better than Dwayne Wade?
This nigga thinking. I'm going.
I thought of it because I didn't know why Mars would act.
Because you said Jason Tatum was better than Dwayne Wade. So I want to know. And you said Jimmy Butler was worse than Dwayne Wade, but Jaylen Brown's better than Jimmy Butler, but worse than Tatum. So is Jaylen Brown better than Dwayne Wade?
When did I say Jimmy Butler is worse than?
I'll remind you. This is exactly what you said.
This is what I said.
This is exactly what you said. This is we were asking about Jimmy Butler and Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade in the same situation. You said Dwayne Wade couldn't do what Jimmy Butler could, but he's still a better player than him. Dwayne Wade is a better player. Yeah. So but you said Jimmy Butler is worse than Dwayne Wade, but for this team he could get to the finals. So I'm saying you said Jason Tatum is better than Dwayne Wade. You said that, right?
I don't even think Tatum on this Miami team couldn't do it.
No, you're missing my. That's not the point.
I'm trying to understand this point.
Yeah, and so let me get to it. So Jason Tatum is better than Dwayne Wade.
Yes.
Dwayne Wade is better than Jimmy Butler. So that means if there was a 3, Dwayne Wade would be in the middle.
Who's the 3?
Jason Tatum, Dwayne Wade, and Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler, yes.
Jimmy Butler would be 3rd, Dwayne Wade would be 2nd, and Jason Tatum would be 1st. Right?
Okay.
You said Jaylen Brown is better than Jimmy Butler, correct?
He's not better than Wade.
So my question was going to be: if Jaylen Brown is better than Jimmy Butler, and he's worse than Jason Tatum, would he be above or below Dwayne Wade?
He's not better than Wade. I don't.
There we go. That's all I was asking.
No, but I don't get how you could ask that question in that.
Because you said Jason Tatum was better than Dwayne Wade. I wanted to know where you graded Jaylen Brown on that tier.
Jaylen Brown, he's not even close to D-Wade to me.
So as a scorer,
that's all it was.
And I want to get back to Dell. So as a one-on-one player, is Jimmy Butler a better one-on-one player than Jaylen Brown? I mean, is Jaylen Brown a better one-on-one player than Jimmy Butler?
To me, he is. Yes.
Based on what you think? Because when I think about being a one-on-one player, when you talk about guys like Carmelo Anthony, you talk about guys like Jordan, you talk about guys like Kobe Bryant, you talk about one-on-one players. What about Jaylen Brown makes him a better one-on-one player than Jimmy Butler?
I think he has more variety of ways of getting a bucket than Jimmy Butler does.
Is he a better ball handler?
I think he's more creative with the basketball than Jimmy Butler, yes. But Jimmy Butler has more ball control or more simple, less dribble. I think he like crossover between the legs. I think Brown has those step backs. Jimmy Butler's not as fluent with that stuff as Jaylen Brown is.
Right. So that means that Jimmy Butler would be a little bit more efficient with the basketball. Okay, so that's number one. Number two.
No, that's not what that means. That's not what you asked me. You just asked me who's the better Jimmy Butler. I think Jaylen Brown's a better ball handler than Jimmy Butler. Of course, Jimmy Butler has less turnovers, but Jimmy Butler had less turnovers than many people that are better ball handlers than him. So I don't get.
You think Jaylen Brown nicer with the pill than Jimmy Butler?
Dribbling basketball, 100%. Yeah, yes, 100%. And I don't think I would stand alone with that, but maybe I am.
Yeah, I think you're alone with that.
The defense alone is where there's no point in this conversation.
Right.
Fellas, we got
to. If the Jaylen Brown that Dell believed existed was real, Boston
they would have beat them.
Won the championship.
Yeah, they would have won. Yep.
No,
if Jaylen Brown was as good as a defender as Jimmy Butler, they would have won without a doubt.
Fellas, we can't continue to talk about Jaylen Brown. He's not in the NBA Finals.
I'm sorry.
This is not tough. This is not that difficult.
It's tough how you guys switch that little switch I do. This is the one I hate. Is the switch I always.
No, I know where you at, Dale, because just last year he was the best player in the finals, and he was the best player. On the team
wasn't me saying that either.
I ain't saying that you were saying that, but that was the logic.
That was Ron and Bob.
I'm a Jason Tatum guy. But there were people who, he's the best player, and he was the best player on that team in the finals. Which
you're not speaking to those people though right now.
Right.
That's the point. You're just not speaking to
the point that Dell is making is that how people switch up. But if you're going to switch up, there's got to be legit logic when you're switching up.
But the problem is that we're not switching up, though. That's the problem. We're not switching up, though.
Yo, Mars, quick question, right? Like, honestly speaking, Jaylen Brown is so horrible. What made you have Boston Celtics winning in 7?
I never said he was horrible. Never said that. I just said he's
not. It don't sound okay, whatever. But what made you have Boston Celtics winning in 7?
They didn't have Jaylen Brown. I can tell you that.
It starts from me believing that Caleb Martin was human. I didn't think Caleb Martin was going to keep this up for the whole series. It also comes from the fact
you said it before the series, so you didn't know Caleb Martin.
I had Boston in 5. I actually had Boston in 5.
Yeah, okay, even better for me.
Yeah, and the reason I believed in Boston being a better team, because of the fact that I think their whole team top to bottom was better. B, I thought the game plan to slow down Miami's offense was pretty evident. And I think Joe Mazzulla started doing that after they went down 3-0 for whatever reason, which was defend with discipline. Don't collapse your defense every time on a drive. Don't give up these wide open threes. That was the game plan that I thought they were going to implement from game one. They didn't do it. They went down 3-0, but I still believe they were a better team. Once they got back to 3-3, I thought that was going to be what they were going to do. And then in game 7, their offense just fell off a cliff and they couldn't make threes. Jaylen Brown included, Jason Tatum hurt his ankle, a bunch of reasons why they lost game 7. But I believe they were a better team because of everything I just detailed. And I still think if you play that series 10 times, I think Boston wins 7 of them. But they lost this series, and that is what it is. But that has nothing to do with how good or bad I think Jaylen Brown is. I think he's a very good player.
Well, no, it has to have, because you're predicting something on a player that you hardly believe in to win a series.
But it's not about me. See, this is the thing. When I pick series, it's not about me picking a player. It's picking the team.
The team, but that player is on that team.
Yeah, so me not thinking that Jaylen Brown is as good as you do doesn't mean I think Boston are worse. I think Boston are a very good team.
He's on that team though.
I know.
So you know how you say
I think Jokic is like the second or best player in the world. I don't think he wins every series because he's the best player on the court.
That's not what I'm saying though.
So me picking Jaylen Brown's team doesn't mean it's because I think Jaylen Brown is good.
How less of how you think of a person, just like with the Knicks, you always say, "Yeah, I'll pick the Knicks."
Oh yes, Julius
Randle.
Yes.
So this is what I'm trying to understand. So in this sense,
partial trolling. But
I didn't know you viewed Jaylen Brown so like.
Oh, I show.
I think I view him how he should be viewed.
Fellas, we got to move on. We got to move on.
He's a fringe top 30 player. I think that's how
we got to move on. Yeah, everybody, we got to move on. I want to talk about.
You think Kawhi is worse than him? So I don't
you also think that he's just as good as a defender as Jimmy Butler.
And I said
Dale, Low, Mars.
I can play.
Got to move on. We're beating Jaylen Brown into the ground.
No, not me.
We talked about him all day yesterday. Now we're talking about him all day today. I want to talk about game 1 of the NBA Finals. I need thoughts and predictions on who's going to win this game tonight. But before that, I want to ask you guys, who's the X factor in this series on both teams? Who do you guys think?
MVP of the Finals, Heat in 6.
Define X factor.
X factor, the player that needs to perform well, that if he performs well, will lead their team to victory in the series, in the whole series.
For Miami,
and it can't be the two top players. Well, it could be.
Okay, so it can't be Bam and Jimmy or.
No, go ahead. You define X factor
because I was going to pick Bam and Jamal Murray.
It's Bam, yeah. So the X factor is Bam for me. Like he has to be like sound offensively. He has to be sound, consistent, and aggressive offensively for them to really translate to any type of actual offensive threat to kind of keep up with whatever Denver's going to do. He struggles at that at times, and really all postseason long, even at times in the regular season, he's just not making the shots as he normally does. He's not as aggressive. He's going to get beat on the glass anyway, so he has to just do more things to kind of make up for the lack of production when he's getting outmanned. And then on the other side, I think Aaron Gordon is going to be the X factor defensively. Whoever they match him up with, I think he's going to have really meaningful minutes against Jimmy Butler. And I also think he's going to have to be spatially aware enough to know when to cut drive without the ball in his hands, because they're going to utilize that. They're going to use that against him when they're defending Jokic. So those are the 2 X factors for me, Aaron Gordon and Bam Adebayo.
Chilltown.
So I'm taking Caleb Martin off the table. And the reason why I'm taking him off the table is because he's gotten progressively better. So this is what they're expecting from him throughout the rest of the playoffs. He's gotten better as time has gone on. The one guy who I think could be a huge X factor for them is Strus. I think that if he could shoot the basketball better, I think that if he could get more involved in the offense, I think that's something that they don't account for. So if he could give them another 15 to 18, I think he could be huge for them. Also, Duncan Robinson, his ability to stretch the defense, his ability to play in space and not be a liability defensively, I think that will be huge for the Miami Heat in terms of X factors. Now, when you talk about the Denver Nuggets, I agree with Lowe. I think that if Aaron Gordon could give them significant, not just minutes, but if he could give them significant minutes and offense, and not just offense, if he can give them significant minutes plus rebounding, I think that takes a lot away from what Denver. I think it takes a lot away from what Miami can do defensively. I think that'll be huge for them.
Fluent.
Oh, I thought we did this yesterday. I still think I'm going to stick with Miami. It's the reason why.
No X factors.
X factors. My bad. Is Tyler Hero playing?
Game 3.
Game 3.
Where they're
The soonest. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with him. I'm gonna go with him because if he comes in and he's anything of what they expect to get from him from a shooting perspective, which gives them another shooter who's gonna unexpected, right? My whole thing yesterday when I picked Miami was we know what Denver's gonna do. We don't know what Miami's gonna do. So I think it's another variable that Denver's gonna have to deal with. So I think if he comes in game 3 and can give them any significant minutes, any significant shooting, we know that Duncan Robinson has been up and down. Everyone keeps waiting for Martin and for Gabe Vincent to kind of crash back down to earth, but they haven't. So I think he becomes just another shooter that they're going to have to deal with. So I think him coming back in is going to be something that could, because I think Miami loses the first game or two. So I think he's the one that for them to win, it might be that kind of gives them that spark, gives them that X factor to win.
Mars?
I'm gonna try and pick names that haven't been picked. So Denver, I think Michael Porter Jr. is probably the X factor for them. Not only offensively, whether or not he's making or missing his shots, but defensively, the way they use him and the way I predict they'll probably defend the pick and roll, I still think he's going to be a very key factor there in terms of his rotations. His rebounding is going to be very key, and also he just has to be locked in on that side of the ball because I do think with Miami's spacing, he's going to be very key defensively. Offensively, I mean, all he's really got to do is just make his wide open shots that he's inevitably going to get. Also, maybe pass the ball sometimes. That would also help. And then for Miami, I wanted to say Duncan Robinson, but Chill went with Duncan Robinson. So
you can go with Duncan Robinson, but for different reasons.
I don't want to.
I thought Chill won Max Strus.
He said
I went with Max Strus and Duncan Robinson.
You hogging players like that. That's crazy.
Facts. So I guess in order to, maybe try to find another loophole. I think Eric Spoelstra. I think what he runs this series defensively is going to be very key. I believe, and I don't know Spo. This is my guess. I believe he's going to throw everything at Jamal Murray. I believe what he's going to do is every time Jamal Murray comes off a handoff, I do believe they're going to trap or blitz him and force him to make those passes over the top, which I don't know how comfortable he is making those reads around length. I think that's what they're going to try and make him do, try and force him into more difficult shots, whereas Jokic will probably play in less of a crowd because you don't really want to crowd Jokic because you know how that goes. You want to put Jamal Murray in those precarious situations and maybe try to get him away from the ball and stop him from killing you with his shot creation. I think that's what they're going to do. I also want to see how he deals, because I believe every time Jokic comes out and Mike Malone goes to that bench unit, I believe Spurs going to go straight to that zone. And I want to see how Jamal Murray can attack that zone with the bench pieces that that Denver have, because I do believe he's going to be very key to breaking that zone as well. So I think the coverages that Jamal Murray is going to see is going to be key, and I think that's going to be what Eric Spoelstra is going to key in on. So I think it's going to be a big series for Eric Spoelstra coaching wise.
Lo, I said the same thing. What Mars said about Blitz and Jamal Murray, I said the same thing. I felt like
I was gonna ask him how does he get blitzed because off a dribble handoff.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because I was
it's less of a blitz and more so you see giving up the Jokic short roll is something I believe not Miami are going to give it up, but I believe they're going to try and make those passes as difficult as possible.
See that right there.
I don't know how comfortable Jamal Murray is making those passes in a crowd. And I believe for game one, I'm speaking for game one because if he abuses it in game one, obviously they're going to have to mix up. But for game one, I believe they're going to try and see how comfortable Jamal Murray is in that situation.
And I'm not sure why you didn't like that, Lo, because what the Lakers did with Steph Curry, they did the same thing and they disrupted the Golden State Warriors rhythm. I don't understand why they didn't at least attempt that with Jamal Murray. Not so much as blitzing him, but at least disrupting him. Where now he's got to pass over length. He's got to pass in.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
And that was and you hated that when I brought that up to you against the Lakers.
With the Lakers against the Warriors is two different personnel. Crowding Curry and making somebody else make the right decision offensively is way more successful than crowding Jamal Murray and giving it to the best offensive player in the league. Like that's where the differences are. Especially with the Warriors, where everybody else was struggling to produce offensively and not named Curry. That's the reason why I was like, no, you can get away with that.
But how does Murray get the ball to Jokic? That's what I think.
He can kick it. He can kick it to KCP. KCP has a different angle. He can kick it to Jokic. They've seen those sets throughout the regular season, and they tend to just use Aaron Gordon, MPJ, or KCP as another angle.
KCP has anyone said that? KCP might be your X factor.
I'm not mad at
KCP.
He's going to be big too. Yes, he's going to be.
But they've done it before where they crowded Jamal Murray and they just use a different angle to get the ball into Jokic.
I believe Miami's rotations behind the play, similar to what Denver do, will be strong, even though their lack of size is going to be a problem with Jokic in that situation.
All right, Florent.
I do believe that their rotations will be strong enough to where that Jokic isn't just getting a free catch. Now, beyond that, their rotations behind that is going to have to be extremely sharp because Jokic can pick that apart. But I still do believe that's what they're. What they should do for game one.
Florent, you about to say something?
No, I was just gonna. I went to hit leave studio and I almost hit end broadcast.
Don't do that. Don't please don't. We working right now.
I'll leave peacefully. Later, y'all.
But go ahead. What I
was gonna say is that even what Mars is saying, it sounds nice. I don't think that Mars thinks like this is the end all be all. But the problem with that is, again, like the Nuggets are very well versed in like already defending those type of sets, which is where you get a lot of those tip passes from Jokic where they're crowding a lot of people and try to rotate properly. And they already know, like, all right, Jamal Murray getting crowded. We're going to try to angle it to Jokic, and Jokic gets it, and then Aaron Gordon cuts, and Jokic is just making tip passes to Aaron Gordon and MPJ. Like, that's how a lot of those tip passes end up happening because somebody got crowded, and then everybody's trying to rotate. But Jokic is like a very,
one of the
as
best
we all know,
one of
the best touch passes in NBA history. So
that's the issue of Jokic. I'm trying
that's where
there's
it's
not much you can do. I'm trying to.
I see what you're trying to say, but those are just sets that they've already seen before.
Right. And the thing that I'm thinking with crowding Jamal Murray is if you crowd Jamal Murray and you get the ball out of his hands as quickly as possible, and not only get the ball out of his hands, well, you throwing him off rhythm offensively. And now you're making Joker, even though Joker is going to excel as a passer, even though he's going to excel as a scorer, what you're doing is now you throwing Jamal Murray off because that rotation back to Jamal Murray is now taking the ball out of his hands and keeping the ball out of his hands. Even though Denver does do a lot of action off the basketball, when he doesn't have the ball, when you're crowding him like that, I think that's throwing him off rhythm a lot. That's why I was trying to figure out why the Lakers, in terms of rotation, why they didn't implement that more.
Well, if you crowd the other players, especially when Jokic is at the high, at the elbow,
right,
then you crowd them too much. Then, especially if you try to top lock them, they can just backdoor cut into the lane. That's the problem. And then obviously Jokic can make that the proper reading and so like that's the problem is just that Jokic, if you try to play too aggressive, they're already accustomed to people playing aggressive and trying to beat them over the dribble handoff screens.
Damn, he's just so damn good. Man.
So then if you're playing too aggressive and try to beat them over the dribble handoff screens, they're just immediately cutting to the basket. And with Jamal Murray, that may not be that as impactful because he's just as big as a lot of those players out there.
Right.
But with MPJ and Aaron Gordon, who are just noticeably bigger than the guard rotation that they're going to have out there, that you're going to lose that matchup every single time if you play too high up. Which is how Aaron Gordon gets a lot of his baskets anyway at the rim, just cutting to the basket. So
I don't envy Eric Spoelstra's job. But if he comes up with something, then I guess I'll be right with the X factor.
Don't think for 1 second, Mars, that he's not looking at film like this. What the hell are we going to do with this?
Well, he's already said that. He's already been on record saying that he's been looking at the film and trying to conjure up a game plan to stop him.
What the hell are we going to do with this guy?
He's already said that he's the most sound offensive player he's had to coach against.
This guy.
Fellas, this kind of leads me to my next question. Ticket, are you still around? Would you like to give your X factors?
I think we lost Ticket.
Go ahead. I'm right here. Go ahead.
You got X factors for both teams?
For the Denver Nuggets, the X factor in my opinion is going to be I think it's going to be Bruce Brown.
I like that one.
I thought he was an X factor last series. A lot of people probably thought it was Aaron Gordon. I thought it was him. I thought him attacking D'Lo and letting the coaching staff know he was attacking D'Lo. He's a sneaky guy. He's a guy. He took D'Lo out of that series and really agitated the Lakers. I think he played mind games with the coach too, because Darvin Ham got so upset that you would dare say you were going to take a player away, that Darvin Ham stuck with D'Lo all that time to try to prove a point and it played right into Denver's hands. And then he just attacked D'Lo every single time. You know what I'm saying? And so his play, to me, his aggressiveness, his play, and even his 3-point shooting was solid in that series. he was a big X factor for them outside of Aaron Gordon. I think in this series, he's an X factor for them too because he's a real energy guy. He gets them going a lot. He can push the ball in the fast break a lot. He likes to do that. He likes to attack the rack with aggression, with those dunks that get the crowd into the game. So even though I think a guy like Aaron Gordon could be an X factor, which I don't think he will be because he's going to be too focused with Jimmy this series, I think that he's a guy, if he steps up big and does what he's supposed to do, that's going to give Miami a lot of problems. Now, Miami, the X factor for Miami is going to be Bam Adebayo. And the reason why I'm saying Bam is because it's Bam in attack mode. The game plan to beat the Denver Nuggets is to attack Jokic off the dribble going to the basket. Bam has to use his speed and his athleticism to, when he faces Jokic up, if Jokic steps up, go right by him. Go right into Jokic's body, go right into his chest, and try to draw fouls quick. If you guys remember, when Jokic and those guys lost to the Lakers, it was because the Lakers' bigs were aggressive with him. They were physical with him. Bam has to be physical and aggressive and get Jokic into this game where Jokic gets frustrated. And I think that's what he should try to do. And Jokic doesn't like when you're very, very physical with him. He likes it where he can set up and do what he wants to do and operate with good space. But if Bam pushes a line to where he's physical, you understand, and to where they're, offensively or defensively, he's physical with him. And offensively, he's physical as well as far as catching, facing up, and attacking the basket with aggression. I thought AD did that a couple times. I do remember Jokic getting in foul trouble one of those games. That's the way I think they can control the game, is by attacking Jokic and trying to make Malone hide Jokic more in certain coverages. I don't think that teams have exploited that enough. And I think that the Miami Heat with Bam, the way he catches it at that free throw line, right around that area, I think him facing up, I think if he can hit a jump shot, pull Jokic out a little bit, and then attack his body, I think that will be key because I think Jokic will have to foul because they don't have any other rim protection at the basket. That's really going to stop Miami backdoor cutters. And Low will see tonight. He can shake his head like a deacon, like he always.
You saying from Bam though? Is that what you saying from?
You know what I'm saying?
If you want to say Jimmy, I can see that.
No. I'm saying Bam Adebayo catching the ball, facing up, and attacking, going to the rim and attacking. Nope, not selling for fades. None of that stuff. He has quicker feet. He's quicker than Jokic. You got to make Jokic use his feet because that's what'll get Jokic in foul trouble because Jokic will do one or two things. He'll either let you beat him or he'll try to use his arms to make up for the lack of speed in his feet. And that's when you can get Jokic in foul trouble. Watch this series, Chilltown. If they attack Jokic early and Bam attacks Jokic early, and UD's going to be on him about this, being in attack mode early and attacking this dude's body, they got a real shot because I don't like what Denver looks like when Jokic is not in the game.
If it's anybody else, I can agree with you, but Bam is just, I mean, that's just, you're asking Bam to do something that he just doesn't do. And so
it's not that he do it last game. Hold on. I just seen him do it last game. I think he was struggling. He faced up, turned, attacked the basket, and scored against the Celtics in a big bucket late in the game.
Yeah, I'm not talking about for a possession. I'm talking about for him to do it duration of a series.
Right. No, I'm saying that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that has to be the discipline of this series. That has to be the adjustment they make for this series is that we're going to attack Jokic. We're going to attack their best player because, as I said to you, they have not used those other bigs. I want to see what happens when he gets into foul trouble and he got to bring in other bigs because if he don't, he's going to get killed on the boards. Bam does rebound well against smaller competition. So if
you say Jimmy Butler, I believe that Jimmy can do that. If you want to say pulling him out to the 3-point line with shooters, I believe he's going to do that. But thinking that Bam can do that for the duration of a series is kind of crazy.
Okay. He's going to have to guard. Hold on, he's going to have to guard Bam, or they're going to put him on somebody else. Now, Kevin Love.
They will keep him on Bam Adebayo the entire series. Bam is not that much of an offensive threat, especially scoring.
All right. Bam's attacking his prowess on the offensive boards and his quickness going to help him in this series. Watch what I tell you.
His prowess on the offensive boards against Jokic will be nullified.
His quickness going to help him in this series and his athleticism. Watch what I tell you.
And what he could do, even though he hasn't shown this as much as he should.
That's what I'm
saying. Even though he hasn't shown as much as he should, like Bam could be a better transition player. Bam could be a better, but all of this stuff that he
shows that he can do in stretches. He doesn't do it long. And the reason why, and because he doesn't do it long, that could be the difference. Joker is consistent in what he does. Jamal Murray is consistent in what he does. These guys, MPJ, these KCP, these guys are all consistent in what they do. And the reason why they're consistent in what they do is because they play off Joker. Bam, on the other hand, 1 minute it's this, and then the next minute it's this. But the one thing that's consistent with him is he's inconsistent.
I told you,
that's the problem.
You didn't listen to me when I told you.
Which
last
is why
series
he's the X factor as well. That is.
You didn't listen to me when I told you last series about the Celtics. You're going to listen this time, Chilltown. You're going to listen to what I tell you this time. I told you about the Celtics that they shoot too many threes and they don't play enough two style basketball.
That wasn't news though, Ticket. We all knew that.
No. But you argued me about that. You told me you didn't think that would be a problem, and they still got beat. I'm telling you, as we stand here right now, Miami's game plan has to be to attack Jokic directly. When dudes don't play defense and don't move their feet like him, you have to exploit that. If they don't do that, they don't win the series. That has to be his game plan and Espo's game plan.
We agree with
hold on one second, Low.
And
Tristan Thompson said what I said on national TV today. If y'all go on ESPN, look, he said on national TV today. I told y'all, don't double Jokic. Mike Brown said it on ESPN today. Look at Mike Brown on TV today. He says, look, the game plan has to be you don't double team him. Because if you double him, you unlock all the other guys. You're cool if you let Jokic try to go for it. But once he gets 26 and 12, it's done.
Yeah, he'll pick your part.
Again, I don't think nobody's debating to attack Jokic. It's just the player that you're saying that needs to attack. If you said Jimmy, I'm all for it. Like I think that's a very sound. But
no, he's gonna attack him too.
What happened?
I think we lost him.
He must have just disconnected. But go ahead, go around. I'm about to bounce myself, but go ahead.
Okay, cool. We about to go ahead and jump into these underdog picks.
Not bouncing.
The pick fire. The picks are in, and we're gonna go ahead and make them. Yo, Euro, you there? Cool. Let's get to it. The first pick of the day that I asked you guys in the chat was Jamal Murray, and his stats were higher or lower on assist at 5.5 assists. Put a poll in the chat, and you guys said higher.
If they do what Mars is saying they're going to do, then he probably will have higher assists. If they crowd him, he might have hockey assists though. That's tough.
Yeah, that one's a tough one to call.
That's a tough one to call.
Next, we had Bam Adebayo.
I think Bam
points
is going to
and rebounds at 25 and a half. I asked you guys higher or lower. And
Over.
You said lower for Bam.
Over. Over. Bam won't have a monster night tonight. Over.
Lower ticket.
Monster?
Over.
Well, you figure 25?
Ticket. The word you want to use is higher.
Higher, no doubt.
Yeah. Higher. My bad. Higher. Over. Higher. Yeah, higher.
Because if you 20
night tonight.
But low, you looking at these 25 and a half. That's 12. That's 13 and 10. I mean, I'm sorry, that's 13 and what? Oh, that's 15 and 10. He could do that.
How often does he get 10 rebounds?
I mean, he's going over tonight. He's going over
one of the best rebounders.
Hey, Low, we're gonna talk about this after the game.
He doesn't average 10 rebounds.
He's going over tonight, Low. Mark my words.
Yeah, but he said. Well, first of all, he's going higher. Jesus, higher.
Right, over's higher.
No, but you say higher. We say higher on this channel.
Yes.
And then he's had 10 rebounds 7 times in the 18 games he's played in the playoffs. He doesn't normally get that. And again, he's going up against a much better rebounding team.
He's quicker.
That's fine. So was Anthony Davis. That's fine.
No, he's not.
There was two bigs. There were two bigs out in Minnesota.
He's blowing out of shape, bro. Cut it out. You're gonna see a difference tonight.
Who's out of shape?
AD, hold on. They called out AD. Time out. They all called out AD. Draymond Green, all the NBA. Hold on, no. Draymond Green, all of them called out AD. AD's slowing out of shape, bro. You didn't see that last series? Jokic outrunning him up and down the court. Get out of here, man.
I want to. Jokic outruns a lot of players up and down the court. I want to be clear.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Law.
But even in the series against Minnesota, he out rebound both Towns and Gobert. So like when we're saying like even when he's matched up with two bigs, he still grabs more rebounds than both of them, right? So like to sit here and say that all of a sudden again, it's like I mean I guess he could grab more rebounds But to say that he's going to grab more rebounds than what's his name is crazy. He didn't even grab more rebounds than Tatum in last series. Why is he going to grab more rebounds than Jokic? We're like, what are we saying?
All right, y'all. Moving on to the next pick, we have Michael Porter Jr. for just points. At 15.5, I put in a poll, and you guys, the chat, believe that Michael Porter Jr. will go higher than 15.5 points. So as of right now, as you can see, we have Jamal Murray at higher for assist, Bam Adebayo at lower for points and rebounds, and Michael Porter Jr. at higher for 15.5 points. Now, chat, as you can see, we're at a time 6 payout, but I'm feeling lucky today. It's game 1 of the finals. Let's have some fun. So now I'm going to ask you guys, will Jokic go higher or lower on
He has higher or lower on a triple-double.
That's crazy.
Like that.
Isn't that crazy?
I like that.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, no, that's
higher or lower on a triple-double is insane. That's a crazy.
Like that.
That's a crazy.
I like that. So let's go ahead and run it down.
I think he actually will get a triple-double tonight.
So
I think tonight might be the only night he does. I think Eric Spoelstra is going to use a lot of feeling out for this game to try to figure out the best way to defend him, and he might end up giving him some quality looks that will translate to a triple-double because he's definitely getting more than 10 rebounds and 10 points. I don't think anybody's debating that.
So
it's
we
the
have
assist.
1 for a triple-double. Chill. Do you think Jokic will get a triple-double tonight?
I think he's going to average a triple-double in this series, to be honest.
Oh, man.
That's how far I'm going with it. And the reason why is because what they're going to have to do is they're going to, not even just tonight, they're going to have to eventually adjust to Joker. Because if what you guys are telling me is true, if Spo is going to go single coverage and Joker is now going to become a scorer, well, you can't just let him destroy Bam. Eventually, they're going to jump him, and then
you can. They probably will.
They probably will. But in addition to Joker scoring the basketball, he also has the unique ability to find guys, even in one-on-one coverage. He has the unique ability to find guys. It's a natural reaction to help off of a guy when a guy is scoring on somebody else. That's just a natural reaction. So true. I think he could average a triple-double in this series, to be honest with you.
So you're saying higher. He's getting a triple-double today.
Mm-hmm.
Mars?
I mean, all those dribble handoffs. I mean,
I'm about to say the dribble handoffs alone.
That's like 6 assists right there from dribble handoffs. So
one dribble shot, coming off a dribble handoff.
MPJ shooting over players who are like 5 inches shorter than him. Like,
and don't leave out low when he's peeling it off the backboard and he's going in transition.
He's in transition.
Them dudes are filling the lanes because they know that he's going to involve them. So, to be honest with you, you guys mentioned it. I'm looking at Spo. He's probably looking at this film going, what the hell am I going to do with this guy?
He said that several times. He said that several times, man.
I think the biggest question is his rebounds. I think the assist and points he'll get. I think the rebounds is the one that maybe not. And I still think he's going to do it. I think he's going to get a triple-double. But I wouldn't be surprised if he got like 8 rebounds.
So we have 3 of you that believe he will get a triple-double. Ticket, yes or no triple-double? Okay.
Facts.
Well, we'll just substitute the chat in for Ticket. And as of right now, I ran a poll. Will Jokic get a triple-double? 76% of you have said yes. So unanimously, yes, today, Mars, right, unanimously. We're going with the triple-double. All right, Euro, go ahead and throw a modest 35 in there.
Oh, wow.
Hey, easy. Easy.
As you guys can see, 35 pays out to 350. Go ahead and click that submit button. This is how we rocking today. Chat, one last time, I would like to mention that we are doing a $400 giveaway. Just go in, make this same exact bet, or you can make your own contest. You can choose your own players. You can choose your own stats. But make sure you send a screenshot of your account to the Player's Choice Instagram, and we will choose one of you guys to drop $400 in your account, and you can make whatever contest you want to make. All right, I want to go ahead and dive into these super chats. I do have a couple topics and questions I want to ask, but you guys' super chats are a little more important than my topics and questions. So let's go ahead and get into it. Right from the top, my man Taiwan asked what was the biggest X factors for the finals. We just answered that. Appreciate you for donating, my friend.
Thanks, brother. We appreciate you.
Newton said, chill. You should start live tweeting games. Twitter needs to know the meat and potatoes of the game.
I only have a Twitter account because I follow Woj and Shams. I heard Twitter is the most toxic basketball community on the planet.
You should follow me. I'm definitely.
I only have Twitter to follow Ball Don't Stop. So
you should follow. Y'all both should follow me, man.
I see your tweets.
You got a Twitter account, Lo?
Yeah, you probably seen me before.
I don't know.
No, I'm be honest with you. You probably. Well, if you only follow Woj and Sham, then probably not. But like, if you follow Chris Haynes, he retweets.
I don't follow Chris Haynes, but I'll look it up.
He likes and retweets my stuff sometimes.
Low doesn't tweet anything spectacular. It's nothing.
He doesn't.
What a hater!
Ball Don't Stop. However, that's a real Twitter account.
You know me and him in the beef, right?
Ball Don't Stop.
Yeah, Ball Don't
ridiculous,
Stop.
Bro.
Why?
He's too much of a
He likes watching the game and Low hates it because it's not.
He's too much of an eye test guy. He makes up
That's
these.
Not enough, man.
Lo, do we need to bring him on here so you and him can?
Actually, well, I can't. There's something else we working on, but like he's like Dell, where he just like makes up these players in his mind or what he's watching, even though that's not who he's watching.
The only thing I find funny about Ball Don't Stop is how somehow everything is about analytics and how they're terrible.
Yes, everything.
Like, something can have nothing to do with analytics, and all of a sudden it's analytics. I'm like,
that right there is a problem with analytics. Everybody just shooting threes and like they have nothing. Like, what are we talking about right now, bro?
But I still do enjoy reading his tweets. So shout out to Ball Don't Stop.
Oh no, they are comedy sometimes.
He knows ball. He does know ball. So shout out to him.
He's a
ball. All right, y'all. Moving along. Reggie Reg said, "No be smooth, no Reggie Reg, L show."
Sorry, bro.
Should have brought B Smooth back, man. Well, we had B Smooth. It was just Dell today.
D Smooth. That's what the chat was calling him.
Facts.
Dorian Clayton said, "Let's start off on a positive note. This is going to be a great show, which it has been. Everyone on the panel will do great today, and Ron will get through all the super chats. Keep your head up till your neck hurt."
We rolling.
Eli the Misfit said it matters. Butler went to 2 finals because when T-Mac had similar talent, he didn't achieve what Butler achieved.
I don't understand why y'all think it's similar talent. Jimmy Butler's on clearly the team to maximize his playing style. I don't think that T-Mac will still do it, but Jimmy Butler's clearly on the team to maximize his playing style.
I mean, T-Mac was also in the stacked West with
I think he's also talking about the East. But that
Orlando team was not talent. So
all that there's that as well.
And
but yeah, I don't think T-Mac does this with.
They also built that unit around Jimmy Butler to complement his skill set. No question about that. I won't fight that.
Jason the Kid said 57 with Jordan, 55 without Jordan. Y'all sad. Yes, Pippen would have.
Well, that doesn't prove anything because we're talking about getting to the finals, not regular season wins.
And not only that, Jordan got off. And not only that, and I'm a big Scottie Pippen guy, as you guys know. But I mean, you did take Jordan off the crew, and now it was everybody else getting involved in the game. So it wasn't like Jordan got off the crew, and then this guy got off the crew, and then this guy. It was virtually the same crew, and other guys were able to step up and do more. So it wasn't like it was just now Jordan's off the crew, so Scottie Pippen becomes this worldly player. Well, Scottie Pippen did improve. However, those other guys did too.
They were also like 500 the next year.
Yeah, which people love to forget.
I think they were like 3 or 4 games over 500.
I think they were like 33
before Jordan came. They were like 1 or 2 games above 500.
Yeah, I think it was like 34, 31, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep.
Moving along, Ahmed Al-Hari said, "I'm a big NBA fan, but I also love soccer. I had an argument with my friends here who hate soccer about what sport is harder to win at. By far, soccer to me. Imagine having 3 of the top 5 players and not winning."
I got to tell you something, Moss, and you're a soccer guy. People think that because you watch sports or you used to play sports, they think that you know everything about the game. My daughter played soccer, and I don't know nothing about it. I had to start watching the World Cup because I don't know what a forward is, right? I don't know what a midfielder is. I don't know what a forward is. I don't know what the job of a forward is. I don't know what the job of a midfielder is. So I got to start watching. This was in like 2010. I'm watching the World Cup, and I'm saying to my buddy that, you know, my daughter, who's a goalie, I'm like, yo, you got the simplest job. You back there chilling. That's of course until I actually went to one of the games.
Oh my God.
And that's of course until I actually went to one of the games, and the action is coming down toward her, and she gets in this stance. My blood pressure went up because I'm like, oh shit, this is serious. This is clearly serious. So people think that because I know about basketball. I know football. I know all sports. No, I do not. No, I do not. Soccer is a lot more difficult than I knew.
Mars, as somebody who knows a little bit of both sides,
I'm of the belief that any sport with more variables is harder to win. If your team is larger, I think it's harder for one individual to have the impact on winning a game. I think golf, tennis, like one person has all the control of the outcome. It's 1 against 1. Then when you do doubles in tennis, 2 against 2, there's another variable. It becomes harder to win. Then you get to the NBA, 5 players on the court. That makes it harder than doubles in tennis. Then you get to football, there's 11 people on each team, so that becomes harder for you to impact the game. And then you get to the NFL where there's like 600 people on the team. One person has less of an impact on that in that regard. So the more players there are, I think it's harder for one individual to impact the end result of the game. That's why I believe. That's why I think football is harder to impact as an individual than basketball.
And everything is just one game, like in the playoffs. Like one game in the NFL, you're done.
Yeah, that's also very, very difficult too.
Yeah.
Appreciate you for the super chat, Ahmed. Pimp named Slickback chiming in with his Sholey super chat said Scottie Pippen in 1994 quit on the Knicks. Scottie in 1995 led the Bulls to a 500 record and had to cry for MJ to come back. Ticket spitting right now.
True. I got two more super chats and I'm on bounce.
Bet. Jay said Pippen has been overrated by Jay Reed from Akron Apprentices. Scottie was always a Robin. Don't get it twisted. He wasn't a 1 like D Wade on a title team.
I agree. More or less, yeah.
Let me find a good one for you, Lo.
Overrated though. I mean,
he is overrated. Scottie Pippen is overrated.
What I will say,
I don't hear many people who rate him crazy high.
Yeah, like,
chill. Where do you rank? Let's try right now. Chill. Where do you?
I think he's a top 25 player all time.
And there he is. He's overrated. Just like that, Mars. Just like that, Mars. It's that simple. It's that
I mean,
but Mars, it's just that simple.
Top 25 is a bit high in my opinion.
Mars, that's just that simple, Mars.
I think he's at top 35.
I agree. And if everybody said that, then he wouldn't be overrated. But sadly, they don't. So he's overrated, Mars.
Oscar Proud Jr. said recency bias is a hell of a drug y'all love. Stop switching so quick on guys who proved it all year, not waiting until April.
Nobody does that.
Is he talking about Jaylen Brown?
Yeah, that's what we was talking about. Because Mars, SGA, did you just start talking about SGA this season, Mars?
I was saying a year ago, I listed 5 shooting guards in the NBA. I'd take over Jaylen Brown. SGA was one of them. I said that a year ago.
Last year.
Yes.
In May of last year.
When SGA was averaging like, 23, 24, I was saying it. When OKC with a 14 seed, I was saying it. So it's not recent. But I tried to tell everyone about Jaylen Brown's weaknesses a year ago, and they're still the same today. So it's not recency bias.
I also think that we say this all the time with players, and y'all just refuse to listen. So, for example, I've said this several times. If the Nuggets were to lose, it's going to be because of Jokic's deficiency, probably as a defender. Like that would be a huge point to why. If they lose and we talk about that is not us switching up on what it is. We've been saying that literally all year long. It has been the ongoing question about Jokic as a ball player is that his inability as a defender, how much of a factor will that play into like the outcome of these series? So that's not like these things are not changing. I vividly remember, and Dale is saying this, and I could have sworn, especially when Jaylen Brown and Tatum were in the finals and they were struggling to drive through a zone, I could have sworn we were telling Dell about Jaylen Brown and Tatum's weakness as a ball handler. And similar to how he just completely refutes it with Kevin Durant about their weakness as a ball handler, he did it back then, and now all of a sudden he believes that we're saying it right now. No, like we've been saying this about Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown as ball handlers and their weaknesses and turning them into passers and playmakers. As a matter of fact, we know that's the case because that was the whole addition of getting Malcolm Brogdon was to get another ball handler onto the team because that was their weaknesses. So like this is not a new concept. I don't know why, but again,
and also if they end up losing and it's because Joker is deficient defensively. Well, okay, we knew that. But that doesn't take away from how awesome he is. I mean, okay, sure, he still is deficient defensively. He's still awesome though. So it's not like we're gonna go after this. It's not like we're gonna go, yo, Joker sucks. Joker isn't this. Joker is no. I still feel the same way I do about him. It's just that defensively, it's just more glaring now. Does that mean that now because Joker isn't the NBA champion that I'm thinking, well, Joker is now not a top 3 player in the game. No, I still feel like he's that. It's just that I think that thing got magnified in the finals.
Oscar Proud Jr. said that he was talking about Jimmy Butler when it came to recency.
Mm-hmm.
I still would disagree. I think most people will argue that Jimmy Butler is a playoff riser, that he performs really well in the postseason, that gauging Jimmy Butler as a ball player just off of the regular season is not the most accurate and best representation of who he is as an NBA player. Mm-hmm. So if it does sound like we're having a different tone from Jimmy Butler from regular season to post, it's just because like we all know that he's not the same. We all know he's not the same player in regular season and post. And as I also say that, I thought that Jimmy Butler should have been both an all-star and all-NBA performer this year still with the way that he performed. So it's not like I don't think he's one of the top players in the league.
In fact, that's why people talk about Jimmy Butler the way that they do, because he doesn't perform in the regular season. That's why they don't talk about him like they talk about Devin Booker and they talk about Jason Tatum, because he doesn't. He's been a playoff riser throughout the last 4 years, with the exception of what happened. I'm sorry, 3 of the last 4 years. With the exception of that, I mean, he's been a playoff riser. So,
yeah.
All right, fellas. Next super chat that I got for y'all.
One more, and I really got to go. You better be a good one, Ron.
From RMP, he said, "Who's the most valuable player between Caleb Martin, Austin Reaves, Derek White, and Bruce Brown? And how would y'all rank them 1 through 4?
Derek White, Austin Reaves, Caleb Martin, Bruce Brown.
Derek White, Austin Reaves, Caleb Martin. There's a difference between who's playing better and who's better.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Derek White, Austin Reaves, Caleb Martin, Bruce Brown. Yeah.
I think I would put Caleb Martin. I think I'd put Caleb Martin ahead of Austin Reaves.
Yeah, because he's playing better right now.
That's it. That's the only reson why I would put him ahead of him, simply because he's playing better right now.
Bruce Brown does not belong in this conversation.
No, he does not.
When it's most valuable, you could argue Caleb Martin in his role. Miami needs him more than the Lakers need Austin Reaves.
Then you can also argue that for Derek White as well.
Yeah, you could when the question is most valuable, which it is, you could argue Caleb Martin. What Miami get from Caleb Martin, they need that more than what any other team needs from those guys. So I guess you could put Caleb Martin number 1. I just answered it as who I think the best players were.
But if you do that, it'd be Caleb Martin, and then would it not be Austin Reaves after that?
Yeah, I'd go Caleb Martin, Austin Reaves, Derek White, Bruce Brown. I answered it as the best players. That's what I did. But most valuable, yeah, I think Caleb Martin's probably number 1.
If it's also if we go with that logic, agreed, it's Caleb Martin, Austin Reaves, Derek White, and I still don't know why Bruce Brown is in this conversation.
I ain't even bring him up.
Yeah, shout out to Bruce Brown. I guess you needed to pick someone for them.
Not that he whack. I don't think he's whack. I just don't think he should be in this.
Yeah, he don't belong in this.
I don't think he's whack at all. No, I do not think that. I just don't think he should be in this guy.
Facts.
All right, Lo, you got a slide?
All right, I'll catch y'all later, man.
Low down, be easy, brother.
Denver in 5. Jokic's the best passer of all time. He's a top 5 offensive player of all time. Y'all ready for those combos in the next week? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready to have these combos in the next week? You know, Jokic's top 5 passer, top 5 offensive player, best player in the league, top 12 player of all time. And y'all ready to have those combos, man?
Jokic has to beat the Embiid allegations.
Historic playoff and finals run. Y'all ready to have that combo?
Against 2 8 seeds.
He's gonna average a 30-point triple-double?
Against 8 seeds. Who cares?
Hey, y'all ready, man? I'm ready for it. I hope y'all ready for it, because that is what we're going to be talking about next week on Player's Choice. Just let y'all know, man.
Lo, what you going to say if Jimmy outplays him?
Outplays him or wins? Outplays him or wins?
Both. Because if they win, it's probably because he outplayed him.
If it's both, I'm going to tell y'all to cut the PlayStation off because y'all clearly playing 2K. All right.
Be easy, low down.
All right, y'all. We got a plethora of super chats that
we're
gonna go ahead and handle. It's just us 3, so we're gonna go ahead and make it happen. If Tinker decides to chime in, even better. Unapologetic Network said Rockets versus Spurs in Western Conference Finals.
You know, Lo, you know that my man Mars Blackman loving that.
I'll give us Rockets in 6 in that series. Rockets in 6.
And that's because Wemby has failed to you guys at 4.
I mean, the way the news I'm hearing injury concerns are real with Wembanyama.
No,
San Antonio might not draft him.
No, they're not.
I'm hearing the fourth spot is a real possibility. That's why.
No, you're not hearing that. And the reason why you're not hearing that because it's not a possibility.
Yeah, we'll see.
Ironic that it's just you two up here with me because Tyrone Young had a super chat directed directly to you two. He said, "Chill, can you explain to Mars why Magic is top 5?"
You have Magic top 5?
No, I don't. No, I can't explain to Mars why Magic is top 5 because I don't have Magic.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
So no, I can't explain that to him. So I'm sorry, Todd.
You see, even the old heads know Magic Johnson ain't top 5. It's fine.
No, I do not have him as a top 5 player all the time.
There we go.
Alan R said, "What do you think Cumbucket's ceiling is in the NBA?"
Shout out to Jonathan Kuminga.
Well, first and foremost, Alan, we gotta come up with a different name for this dude. We cannot call him that. We can't. We got to come up with something different. The ceiling for him, well, I don't even know what it is yet because I don't know who he is. While I'm watching him on this Golden State team, he doesn't seem like, is this really him? What I mean when I say, Mars, is this really him? A guy who his basketball IQ isn't there like it should be. Like when I watch the Golden State Warriors, don't get me wrong, the stuff that they do is complex, but they work with you. And Kuminga, what are we in, year 2 now with him?
We're going into year 3.
So we're going into year 3. So we just finished year 2. I expect him to be a little bit more advanced than what he was. And I think Steve Kerr really wanted to implement him more in their offense, more in that system. But I don't think that he could because he wasn't picking it up fast enough. And that worries me about a guy like that moving forward. Because you can have all the talent in the world, but if you can't think the game, then all of that talent goes away. So in terms of his ceiling, I still need to see a little bit more from him, just from a basketball IQ standpoint before I can go there.
Yeah, I mean, the basketball IQ has always been a question for him because I was watching him in the G League because Jalen Green fan had to go watch the G League to see what's going on. The IQ was questionable there. His shot selection in the G League was terrible. But you can see he has, not only does he have the tools, like you can see he studies, like he's not Kobe Bryant, but he studied Kobe Bryant. You can see he studied Kobe Bryant. Just look at the way he uses his up fake. The way, like, for a rookie, he's really advanced with his post game. Like, he's pretty advanced with that. But his IQ isn't there. For me, if I had to pick a ceiling, I'd say Jaylen Brown. I think that's his ceiling. I think if it can all come along, his athleticism, his ability to play in transition, his ability to play with his back to the basket, and if the jump shot does come along, he won't ever be a great ball handler or a great facilitator or decision maker. Mm-hmm. But as a scorer, like a second option scorer with a very strong defense, like I think that's what Jonathan Kuminga could be. Now I don't think that's what he will be, but ceiling wise, I think that's what he can be.
I think he's also a superior athlete too. So a lot of times when you watch basketball players, he's a superior athlete. So a lot of times when you watch you watch basketball players who are superior athletes, especially when they're younger, what that does is that kind of supersedes their basketball IQ because a lot of times I'm just bigger, faster, and stronger than most of you. So it kind of looks a little bit different as opposed to when you're running up on guys who are smarter, right? Who are a little bit less athletic. And now you got to think the game against them. There are guys who can expose that from a guy like Jonathan Kuminga. So again, I need to see a little bit more from him. And I do need to see him advance in terms of his IQ before I can actually gauge who I think he could possibly be.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, y'all. Moving along. Jacob Williamson said the X factor in this series is Bam. Are we finna see Hakeem or Luke Longley? And there's no middle ground coming from a Heat fan.
Well, the Luke Longley logic.
You ain't going to see Hakeem, and Luke Longley's not bad, but
I was just getting ready to say that. Let's dead the Luke Longley logic. Luke Longley played his role very well with the Chicago Bulls. Okay, sure, he wasn't 25 and 10 like Shaq, but they didn't need him to be that, right? So he was a mid-range shooter. He did protect the rim. He did rebound for them. He did speed the game up for them. So if he could be better than Luke Longley, of course, that would be great for him. But Olajuwon, if you asking him to be Olajuwon, good luck. That's not
if that's what you need to win, you're gonna lose.
You're gonna lose because he's not that good. On his best day, he's not Olajuwon good.
Facts.
Pimp named Slickback said, "Wait, so Bob, is there a problem with a dude like LeBron who's snaking you behind your back in trade requests? Did we forget why Kyrie asked that of Cleveland?"
Okay, first of all, that's not why he asked that of Cleveland. And Kyrie Irving is on record saying the reason why he asked that of Cleveland was because as a youngster, he wanted to explore his options. He wanted to see where he was going. He was on a crew that was advancing. The best way I can describe it, Ron, is you meet a chick, you an older dude, you ready to settle down, you met this chick. This chick is young. She hasn't really experienced life yet. So she ain't really ready to settle down with you yet, even though you got the dope setup. So instead, she asks out, only to come back later realizing that, I had a good thing with this dude and I probably should have held on to him. But I was too immature at that time to say that. It wasn't Kyrie Irving. It wasn't LeBron James behind Kyrie Irving's back going, yo, we need to get this dude out of here. That was not going on. In fact, that was something else going on in the front office.
Track God said Jordan said himself the documentary would make people call him a horrible person.
Because maybe he is a horrible person.
How about that? How about that, Mars? Just how about that? Can we just say it? I mean, it's okay to say it. I grew up on Jordan. And it wasn't until later on in my life, Mars, for lack of a better term, I found out he was a jack-off. I didn't know that.
And it doesn't matter. That doesn't take away from his basketball game.
No, it doesn't.
You don't have to be a good person to be great at basketball.
No,
that's
it doesn't.
not a prerequisite. So it doesn't matter.
I found out later, Mike is a jack-off. Yes, he was. He just had a really good publicist. 100%.
Saucy Go Beat says, shout out the panel, shout out basketball.
Facts, man. The stats have been going crazy recently.
D3 said, guys, I just graduated from high school. I want to thank you guys for helping me through high school with these vids. You guys mean a lot to me.
Amen.
How old is that? 18?
Yes.
Yeah.
Old.
Could be 17. Sometimes could be 19, but more than likely 18. Shout out D3. Hey, D3, you mean a lot to us.
Congratulations, brother. We here. We ain't going nowhere. Congratulations.
Lit One said after 06, Wade's best player was Sean Marion and his supporting cast was abysmal. Give him guys like Bam and a 20-point per game Caleb Martin, and he's going far.
Especially if it's consistent. I mean, again, we keep forgetting that it ain't like Jimmy Butler just dragged this crew to the NBA Finals. They've been together for a long time.
Dropping Dime said Chill is a big 49ers fan, so he's biased, in my opinion.
I don't know what the 49ers have to do with this, but
I don't know who you're biased towards. I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Chill, I can agree with that logic, Chill. You're a 49ers fan, you're biased.
What am I biased toward?
Shout out to the 49ers.
Shout out to the Seahawks.
Shout out to them too.
Eat it, Ron. All of them years that we had to take getting our ass kicked by them. Mars, the best way I can put it is all of the years that Liverpool had gotten bounced by Manchester United, and then Manchester United, and then Liverpool finally gets over the hump. And now the people want us to feel sorry for the Manchester United fans. Hell no. That's how I feel about the Seahawks. For years, they were stomping my 49ers. For years.
Heated rivalry, though, Mars. Like bitter rivals.
Hate them dudes. I do not dislike Seattle. Hate them dudes.
It's almost like the Celtics and the Sixers. In the same conference, both have been good teams for like the last 10, 15 years, and we just go at it.
And we beat them in the playoffs this year, and for the first time in years, they routinely showed us the door for years.
So you were the Sixers, just losing to Boston.
Yes, okay. And constantly losing the ball. And then after we beat Boston, people want us to feel sorry for Philly. F Philly.
All right, y'all.
F Boston.
Off of football, we're gonna go with Diesel 754 super chat. Appreciate you for tapping in. He said Jimmy over D Wade. Ticket sniffing thumbtacks.
Shout out to Jimmy Butler, man.
Shout out to Buckets.
Double P said, why are y'all overrating this Celtics team with Joe Mazzulla, who can't make adjustments? KD would smoke them. You were talking about mentality. Tatum constantly disappears. Brown leads in turnovers. Boston's D regressed from MA to Joe.
I realized a lot of people, when they talk about coaches and why they don't succeed, you guys don't know what you're talking about. You just use the word adjustments as a buzzword to just say that they lost because they didn't make adjustments.
No.
When Joe Mazzulla was very evidently making adjustments. So that's not true. But every time a coach fails, you just say they didn't make adjustments. You'll probably say Monty Williams didn't make adjustments. The only coaches who genuinely didn't make adjustments was Mike Budenholzer and Doc Rivers. Everyone else, I promise you, they make adjustments. You just say they don't, and it's a lie. They make adjustments. You guys just say that stuff to make it sound like you know what you're talking about when it comes to coaches. But you don't.
And on top of that, when you talk about adjustments, you can't tell us what adjustments need to be made.
You can't tell us what the other coach countered in terms of his adjustment. None of y'all can tell us that. But what you can tell us is that he made adjustments. The problem when you bring up other people's logic is that now you have to defend that. And because you can't defend it because it's not your logic, you look dumb.
Oscar Proud Jr. said Jaylen Brown or Ant-Man. Who's better?
I'm taking Ant, me personally. Better scorer, better playmaker, even though he's not great as a playmaker. He's got a long way to go. Better playmaker, better ball handler. Dare I say better defender as well at this point. But I just think he's a better player. So
and he does more when he's not scoring. Like, so when he's not scoring, he doesn't disappear. Like Jaylen Brown will have a game where he's got 22 in the first half, and then you don't hear from him for the rest of the game. Anthony Edwards will have games where he's not shooting the basketball, but he'll do other stuff to involve himself in the game, and he'll still be present. Jaylen Brown doesn't do that. You'll get 26 from him in a half, and that's it. There are stretches where you'll forget that he's even out there.
The one thing that doesn't get criticized from Jaylen Brown enough that I started realizing is kind of what you just said, Chill. Like, we'll call Jason Tatum inconsistent through and through. Oh, he shows up for a game and he doesn't show up for this game and this and that. Jaylen Brown is just as inconsistent, if not more. And his inconsistencies is, bro, you gave us 22 in the first half and then came and had 3 points in the second half.
Hey, that's 25.
And nothing else. Not just the 3 points, Ron. Nothing else. You didn't give us any rebounds. You didn't give us any great plays. You didn't give us anything else except that. You completely disappeared.
MP13 said, Ron, you gonna bring any more randoms up here to get their shit deep fried collectively? It's bad when Ticket was trying to save old boy from y'all.
I still stand on the logic, Mars. I think it's good when people like that come up here, because what it does is it deters the rest of you. This isn't as easy as you think it is. It's not. And if you come in here,
the random people coming up, because I thought what I do, like coming up here talking basketball, I thought it was pretty easy. Like, I don't have a problem doing it. I think it's pretty easy. Seeing you guys make yourself look dumb, maybe I'm just really good at what I do, and it's just natural talent. I don't know. Maybe I just have like the natural LeBron James skill set. And you guys are actually really trying, and you just don't have the talent that I have.
Give yourself more credit, Mars.
Maybe I'm just better than I thought I was.
Give yourself a little bit more credit. This isn't as simple as it looks.
Yeah. Chat, either drop L Mars or Dub Mars, whether you think he's nice at what he does or whether he's bad at what he does.
I'm fantastic at what I do.
A Nastiest said Jimmy is a tough guy the same way KG's a tough guy.
KG was a tough guy with certain people. Like, I used to watch KG. Like, there's certain guys that he knew he can get in their faces. Like, he wouldn't do that with Stoudemire. Like, he wouldn't do that with Kenyon Martin. Like, the real tough guys in the league, he knew whose face to get in and who to chill out on. He wouldn't do that with Malone. He would talk some, but the rah-rah and getting in your face, there were certain guys he knew he couldn't do that with.
Walker said, if Dale says yes to KD, he's a hypocrite.
He didn't.
Well, he didn't. So shout out to Dale for being consistent.
Yeah, he did.
And then he chimed back in and said, I'm sorry, Dale.
W.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon my genius said, put some respect on D Wade's name. Shaq averaged 13.7 points in the 06 finals. Wade was definitely Batman in that series to Shaq's Robin.
He was also averaging almost 20 and 10 in the other series too. It wasn't like he was just please. Why are we talking about Shaq like he was just 13 a game, even though he was getting doubled and triple teamed in that series. And not only was he getting doubled and triple teamed, that opened up so much more offense for Dwayne Wade. So against the New Jersey Nets, right, and against the Chicago Bulls, Shaq was averaging over 20 and 10. So it wasn't like it was Dwayne Wade in a wash Shaq. Shaq still had the goods. He still had he wasn't what he used to be, but he still had the goods.
Yeah, I say this all the time, and it's the same thing with Jimmy Butler in 2020. You guys minimize these whole playoff runs to just the finals performance.
Right.
Shaq in the Eastern Conference was playing great. He even played well in the finals. He didn't score well because I don't know what happened to the free throws. They fell off a cliff. I think he made like one free for the whole series. But the fact that Dallas was still defending Shaq as if he was maybe not peak Shaquille O'Neal, but they were sending bodies to him. And D Wade was eating off of the attention that Shaq was drawing. Mm-hmm. So just minimizing the 06 Miami Heat team to Shaq's 13 points a game is ridiculous. Like, you can just watch some of the other series and you'll see Shaq was playing great.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know why people do that. That's weird to me. Shout out to Shaq though.
Idawu Senusi said, Ticket is wild. Prime D Wade was a savage and was very unselfish. He would definitely get this Heat team to the finals in a 4-year span, in my opinion.
I think so.
King Jordan said Prime Wade does everything equally or better than Jimmy Butler does besides rebounds. It's just as tough and enables Miami shooters with driving kicks.
I think he's a better rebounder too.
Just as tough.
I think he's a better rebounder as well. So, I mean, yeah, Dwayne Wade is better than Jimmy Butler. Anyone who disagrees, I don't know what you're talking about.
Pimp named Slickback says second best player on the Heat in the 08-09 and 010 09-010 was Michael Beasley. In 2020, the Heat had Bam and Goran. Did Bam average 18 and 10? Dragic average 19. Hero average 16.
Yeah.
Don't disrespect Michael Beasley, though. Used to be LeBron James 101.
In the words of Michael Beasley, I'm your favorite player's favorite player.
Facts.
Oscar Proud Jr. said, y'all tripping not giving Spo and these role guys credit. Jimmy is great. He is not just backpacking this team, averaging 50 a game. His team is playing amazing with great coaching.
Yes, they are. Absolutely, they
100%.
are.
And we were all wrong about the Miami Heat. I mean, to be fair, I don't think anyone believed Miami's shooting was just going to elevate from the worst in the NBA to some of the best in the NBA in the playoffs. I don't know how that happened.
When does that happen, Mars?
Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but it happened, and now Miami are here. And I can't just give Jimmy Butler all the credit for that. Now he's the best player on the team. But to act like Jimmy Butler is just carrying this team and then nothing without him, I mean, I don't think he's been great, like all-time great in the last 2 series, and they won them both. He played great and he was the best player on the team. But other than the Milwaukee series, I don't think he's been all-time great in any series. So I feel like
especially not this Boston series, those 3 losses. I mean, he went the other way. He clearly went the other way. And same thing with the Knicks. I mean, he was off and on in that series. He wasn't great in that series. I had the Miami Heat as a top 5 seed before the season started, and they underperformed because going into this season, they had brought back the unit, and there was no reason for me to think that with the Eastern Conference being what it was, Jimmy was better. I thought Bam was going to get better. I thought Strus was going to get better. Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin definitely surprised me. I didn't think that he would be this good. But to your point, Mars, this team being at the bottom of I think they were 27th in the league in offense, 28th in the league in 3-point shooting. To go from that to being a top 5 shooting team in the league, I'm very much a historian. I don't know if I could ever remember a team doing anything like that.
Yeah, that's unprecedented. And that's much more than just Jimmy Butler. So
way more.
Give them the credit they deserve.
Wayne Go Crazy said, Mars, you were nasty. Giannis got hurt in game 4. Mars in 2020. Heat were up 3-0. Next.
I implore you to go watch that series. In game 3, Giannis twisted his ankle in like the second quarter. He played on for the rest of the game. And if you go and watch him, he couldn't move. Watch Jason Tatum in game 7. It's similar to that. He ended up taking 7 threes in that game because he couldn't get downhill. Just watch the game. He ends up just pulling up from 3 because he has to try and score because he can't get downhill. Right. He played the game. He was hurt in game 3. Game 4, he then, I believe, either didn't play or got hurt in that game and then missed out.
He tried to play on that bad ankle already.
I think he was cooking. And I think he was cooking them as well. And then he re-aggravated and then missed.
Yeah, he only played 10 minutes.
And then game 5, I don't think he played. So that's exactly what happened. He got hurt in game 3, not game 4. So there you go.
Moving along, King Dudley said, y'all disrespecting my boy D Wade. JT is better? ? Wade couldn't lead us this year? ? Laughing my ass off. Y'all tweaking. Heat and 6, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know where Jason Tatum over Dwayne Wade came from. I'm not gonna.
Nobody said that.
Someone needs to clip that because that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I did not say that, and I'm a Jason Tatum guy, and I did not say that.
That's crazy.
No, I didn't.
MP13 said Dell does this weird thing where when he likes someone, he starts giving out ambiguous definitions, 2 categories that he wants us to think his player excels in, or he just straight up deludes himself.
It is what it is, man.
I like this. I like this dude. He a super duper ball handler. Well, wait a minute. Just because you like him does not mean he's a super duper ball handler. That doesn't work. No.
Pimp named Slickback said, I'm with Ticket. Michael Beasley was one of the best high school players ever, and players in this generation couldn't play like Jermaine O'Neal. Just ask Flight.
W troll.
Troll alert.
See, as a troll myself, I can recognize when it's a troll. It's in the DNA.
Lou said Wade had better teams and failed.
No, he didn't.
That's
no,
not
he
true.
didn't. That's not true. No, he did not. No, he didn't. And he also didn't have time to build like this team did, like Buckets did. When they got Buckets in the 1920 season, they built that unit around his skill set. When Shaq left in 07, at the end of in the middle of the 07-08 season, when Shaq left, they didn't build that unit around Dwayne Wade's skill set. They were constantly rotating guys, constantly trying to figure it out.
Clyde Jeffrey said, "Motherfucker at work bet me 100 Denver sweeps. Is he tweaking?"
I think it's highly unlikely that Denver sweep. I think they lose game one. Maybe that's crazy. I think they lose game one.
I don't think it's ridiculous to say that because they haven't played in almost 10 days. So
it gives me 0-1 vibes. It gives me 0-1 vibes.
That's going to be a factor. The fact that they haven't played in 10 days, that's a big deal.
Pimp named Slickback said, "Chill, I got a question for you about my Nets. I'm nowhere as high on Cam Thomas. He's a bucket, but his playmaking, defense, off ball are way below average."
And he's 21 years old and you just got him. So it's not like he's been in the league for 4 or 5 years where you've developed him and he is who he is. No, he just got to the league. And in addition to him getting to the league, he was a scorer in college. When he came out of college, I believe he was the first freshman.
Pure scorer. Nothing else besides scoring.
That's it. Buckets. That's all he was when he came into the league. Buckets. He's the first freshman since Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf to lead the SEC in scoring. Averaging over 20 a game. Yeah, he was the only freshman to do that since Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf and not lead the SEC in scoring. I think he was in the top 5 in the country in scoring. So you just got him, and I've said this countless times. When I get to the league, I'm not a pro. I have pro potential. It's your job to teach me the pro game. So to watch Cam Thomas, to watch Cam is Cam. I keep saying Cam Johnson. I'm sorry. To watch Cam Thomas at this young age and go, yo, I don't see it. Well, that's because they haven't developed him yet. Give him some time to turn into why you drafted him, which is a bucket getter, and you'll get a return on what you drafted.
B Smooth said, "Damn, Low actually cooking today." And yes, people, that is the B Smooth from yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if he says you're cooking, I probably wouldn't take that serious. So.
Double P said Heat winning game 1, Nuggets in 5.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yo, chill. Your time's winding down?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Keep going.
Got a couple more.
Yeah, keep going.
Donovan Samuel said thoughts on Monty Williams to the Pistons.
I actually like it. And the reason why I like it is because it's a 6-year deal. So it's not like it's a deal where he's only got 3 years. Well, he's got some time to turn this thing around. And with Cade, and I know how Marsh feels about I know how he feels about Wiseman. But with Cade and with Ivy, I think that they're on to something with those two guys. The jury's still out on Wiseman, but with Cade and with Ivy, I think they're on to something, and they're going to get a good pick. And the fact that they've now got Monty locked in for 6 seasons, I think he can do something and turn this thing around. I do. I like it.
I thought Monty wasn't going to coach next year, so that's a surprise to me. But I like it. I do like that. Just don't play Wiseman. Just develop Jaylen Brown, and then see what you get with number 5. And I think you're in for a good time.
CP Nexers said can't allow Jokic to get 10 plus assists or you lose.
Yeah.
King Jordan said, what tier of player do y'all think Ant can be at his ceiling? Top 8, offensive number 1 on a championship team, player comp if you can too. Ron, you too.
Oh, I've said this countless times. He's a more athletic version of Mitch Richmond when I watch him. That's who he looks like to me. And I think that his ceiling, I think he could be a top 5 player in the game. I think he's that good, just simply off the strength of what he can develop into defensively. I think he could be an elite defensive player. I think offensively, once he puts that mid-range more in his game, because I've seen him shoot the long ball, his shot selection is a little iffy right now because, again, Mars, we're talking about a kid who's still trying to figure out the game, and he's still trying to show that he can stick. But once he puts it together defensively, I think we can talk about this dude as a top 5 player at some point.
He reminds me of a modern iteration of Dwayne Wade. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's what he reminds me of.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Like, just if Dwayne Wade played in today's game, he would add that. Like, he would take more threes. Obviously, I think that's what Anthony Edwards is. I think that's what he's projecting to be. Now, the playmaking needs to come along, and the defense. I think he has the tools to be a great defender, and he's starting to unlock it now. But that's how I see him. So, and D Wade was a top 5 player in the NBA for a stretch. Now, with the way the NBA is looking now, I don't know if a player like Anthony Edwards could be top 5. Because I think like the game is now, you have to be more of an all-around player to really get into that conversation. There's not many like more one-dimensional guys who are in that conversation, but I think he has that type of potential, so he could be. I definitely say top 10.
Yeah, I don't ever see him getting top 5. I think it's even going to be hard to crack top 8 because you have a plethora of young point guards that are only getting better. Your De'Aaron Foxes, John Morant's, Trey Youngs, and Lucas. Then you got your Jason Tatums. Also, I think Jalen Green is going to be better than him.
There we go.
I think Jalen Green is going to be better than him. And then on top of that, look at these other young crop of players that you have. You got Victor.
When Wemby comes in, I mean, Jesus.
And I mean, you're going to have a whole bunch of other number 1 picks come in, and he's still young, so these guys are going to be in his class. I just don't see him ever cracking like the top 7, 8.
Even if that's true, I would buy the logic that the league is getting bigger. Okay, I would buy that logic. But the idea when you're talking about guards, I think he's a much better defender. I think he's got a much better upside in terms of defense than Jalen Green, and I think that he's just as good, if not a better offensive player than Jalen Green, especially when you're talking about the other guards in the NBA. I mean, I think that he's just as good, if not better, than Jaylen Brown is right now. And I think that I definitely think that his ceiling is going up. I think Jaylen Brown is who he is at this point.
Right now? Well, I can see that. Well, no. I mean, I can see why you would say that. I just don't believe that. I think Jalen Green this year, believe it or not, I think he averages high 20s, like 26, 27.
Somebody got to lead a bad team in scoring. Somebody got to lead a bad team.
We're not going to be terrible. We're not going to be terrible. We don't have our first round pick this year, so we have no reason to be terrible. It's top 4 protected. OKC have it because of the Chris Paul trade. So we have an incentive to be competitive with Ime, with Jalen Green taking another jump. Jabari Smith, I hope, can be more than Trevor Ariza. Sengun is going to be used properly. Kevin Porter Jr. is going to be used in a better situation. Ime Udoka's already spoke about that. I think we'll be competing for the play-in, and Jalen Green will be our best player, undoubtedly. And just wait.
Hey, in chat, I'm not saying today that Anthony Edwards is that Jalen Green is better than Anthony Edwards. I'm saying in 3-4 years, I think Jalen Green, he's bigger. He's just as athletic, if not even more. And I think he has a little more in his bag in terms of being able to score on all 3 levels. And on top of that, Jalen Green, he didn't have the NBA body that Anthony Edwards had coming in. Anthony Edwards came in NBA ready in terms of how strong he was and how explosive he was. When Jalen Green puts on 10 to 15 more pounds of muscle, it's not going to be nothing you could do with him. But to even more go in depth, I didn't even mention your bigs. I didn't mention Embiid, even though I wouldn't say that he probably has like a 4 or 5 year span of being top 5. But you got Jokic, who I think he's going to be top 5 for the next 7 to 10 years. Giannis for the next 7 to 10 years. And then it's going to be some other players that continue to get better too. I just don't really see Ant being top 8 at all. But I do think he will have a crazy playoff run at some point where
the league is crazy.
He goes ballistic.
It is.
Who said Jalen Green can't shoot in the chat? Hey, JC, man, don't watch the show no more. You know what you're talking about. What? Jalen Green can't shoot.
I got a couple more on, and I got to bounce.
Oh, and this is another guy too. In this super chat from Jay, he said, "What's you guys' thoughts on Mikal Bridges? He performed like a top 25-30 player in the second half, going off film, BPM, and VORP. What's his ceiling?"
Oh, I love me some Mikal Bridges, man. Let me tell you, he looks to me like he could be a better version of Eddie Jones. That's who he reminds me of more than anything. And his ability to defend. He was already I think he was like an 18 a game guy as a third guy on that Phoenix team last year. So he could score the basketball. That was never the case. Now, the fact that you now got him in Brooklyn, I don't think the defense dwindles. I think the defense stays where it is and it gets better as time goes on. I think offensively, if you continue to put the right pieces around him, get him a better distributor, get him a better playmaker at the lead guard. I think that's going to make him even better. Like I said, I think he's a better version of who Eddie Jones was. I love him some Mikal Bridges. Yes, I do.
Yeah, I'm not going off BPM or VORP, but
no, I'm not doing that neither.
But based on watching him, I think his scoring is very strong. Like he can get to the mid range, he can shoot the three. I think he's got to get a better handle, and he's got to become a better decision maker. In Brooklyn, he was put in more of a number one role, so he was forced to make more decisions, and I don't think he was great in that regard, especially in the playoffs against Philly. I think he struggled a lot. So I think that's the next stage of his development. If he wants to become an offensive like centerpiece, it has to be the playmaking and the decision making that will have to develop. And I think he has the capability, but it's just about how far along it can develop in this offseason to see where he'll really be at for Brooklyn.
Do you guys think he can keep it up?
Yes.
Do you think this sample size is something that is an indicator of what will really happen in the future?
Well, he averaged like 27 in Brooklyn. I mean, 27 isn't where it used to be. 27 doesn't have the same oomph as it had 15 years ago.
No, it doesn't.
So it's really like 22, 23. But yeah, I think he can be a strong scorer. I do think the defense did take a little bit of a hit in Brooklyn. But I think in a full season with like a team I think they're going to have to be a defensive team. I don't think the offense is going to be good enough. I think Mikal Bridges can be extremely strong defensively, still like all defensive caliber. But in order to hit that next all-star level or all-NBA level, it has to be with the playmaking, in my opinion. And I don't know if that'll be next year or a few years down the line.
I don't know if he'll ever get the playmaking, but the one thing I do like about Mikal, we don't have to talk about defense. You know what time it is with Mikal on defense. Even if as his offensive load goes up, his defense regresses, he still will always be an above-average defender.
Yeah.
As far as I'm projecting. But I like the fact that Mikal Bridges shoots the ball at an extremely efficient rate. 3-pointers, his 2-point percentage, and then also just from the free throw line, he's an efficient scorer. That's what I like about him.
And I also think that scoring, as good as whatever your skill set is, scoring has a lot to do with confidence. And the fact that he's already got a vote of confidence from the Brooklyn Nets, who already made it clear that he is not on the trading block. They are not interested in him. That just gives him more incentive to come back an even better offensive player. And in terms of playmaking, I think we only value playmaking on one side of the basketball. Playmaking is on the defensive side of the basketball too. And I think that he's also a damn good playmaker on the defensive side of the basketball, which enhances his offense. So Mikal Bridges, I'm a big Mikal Bridges fan, 100%. So hey, Ron,
I just came in to ask for my co-host.
All right, chill.
It's about that time for me, my man.
You need Mars back?
Yes, I need Mars Blackman.
Mars back?
I need Mars Blackman.
Mars Blackman, be easy, brother. I'll see you dudes tomorrow.
All right, chill. Be smooth. All right, chat. I guess we got to end it because Dub is taking Mars to wherever he's taking Mars.
Let's go, brother. Good day, bro.
Bye, guys. Nothing more for me to say. L Dub.